in the Western United States. First of those two is tonight as Dallas takes on top Western team San Jose Earthquakes. First Arena has his team cruising tied with Vancouver on points atop the Western Conference. Quakes will be without two of their top stars tonight and are coming off a midweek loss to Seattle, however. Dallas looks to break a 10-year curse as they take on San Jose at PayPal Park tonight. Along the lines of the FC Dallas Radio Network, it is the FC Dallas pregame show presented by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. On tonight's presentation, we'll have the sounds of tonight's match. Our commentary team for the evening, Ryan Figger and Steve Davis, will join me. We'll break down the lineup, the tactics, everything you need to know about tonight's Western Conference matchup. And speaking of Steve Davis, he joins us now to talk about the major headlines for tonight's MLS After Dark. Steve, we're in a new location tonight. We've got 9 road games in front of us. Even though the break is only 2 weeks away, it feels kind of like a little bit of a new energy right now.
It does a little bit, the real action though is at PayPal Park right there across the street from the San Jose International Airport. So that part feels familiar.
It really does. Dallas has been going there for just a minute under many new names, though PayPal Park is the newest one. And Dallas is in the middle of a 5-game, well, actually near the end of a 5-game swing here of opponents that, standing outside New York Red Bull, who Dallas dispatched pretty easily, we're always going to be tough. Western Conference opponents, RSL, Vancouver. Now you've got San Jose. You've got 6 points to show with wins over RSL and New York. Vancouver didn't go your way on Wednesday with 6 potential points left and 2 matches to get them. Where do you think Dallas needs to get before they hit the World Cup break?
Yeah, you know what? 6 points out of 3 isn't bad. That's 2 points a game. Mm-hmm. You get 2 points a game, and you're not only in the playoffs, you're up high in the playoffs. So that part isn't bad. Now you got to think about these last 2 before the big break as a sort of a set. And I think if you get 4 points out of those, I think you're thrilled, especially considering the first one comes here against San Jose, one of the best teams in Major League Soccer this year. Maybe the best team, although tonight, as you said, missing a couple of their key players. I think if you get 2 points from these 2 games, you're reasonably happy because that means you're going to go into the break unbeaten in the last 2, and that's unbeaten going into the break 2 unbeaten on the road, not bad.
No, it's not, especially when you consider that gets you probably right at 6th or 7th with the way the current Western Conference is breaking, and it would set you in a decent position going forward. Well, the team charged with trying to get Dallas to those points tonight is Jonathan Serwat and net, Herman Johansson, Shaq Moore, Osaze Urquide, Nolan Norris, Joaquin Valiente, Ramiro Kaite, Patrickson Delgado, Santi Moreno, and Pedro Musa, the lineup tonight for FCD. And a big change for Dallas tonight, Steve. Jonathan Serwat in net gets his first start since joining the Burn from Montreal and trade this offseason. And we talked on the postgame show about Michael Colodi having a little bit of a rough outing against Vancouver, although a lot of goalkeepers have a rough outing against the Whitecaps.
Fair.
But it's a big opportunity for Serwat tonight. We get to see what the 6'3" Canadian native has for FC Dallas.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had a really good conversation among the 3 of us just a few minutes ago talking about what it means for Colodi, what it might mean for Serwat, what it means for the team. I do think Michael Colodi could have done better on 2 different goals against Montreal. Now you have Jonathan Serwat coming in, and to be honest, I never thought he was great as the number 1 at Montreal, but that organization is an absolute mess. So you can't really judge somebody. I don't feel like on what they did at that organization. So I'm eager to see what he can be in a better team and training. I know that he communicates really well. I don't know that he might be the shot stopper Michael Colodi is. I don't think he commands the box the way Michael Colodi does. Although again, I am eager to see what he can do on a better team and with a much better back line in front of him than anything he ever had to work with in Montreal.
Yeah, he didn't have Osaze Urquide in Montreal. Yep. That's a big help for any goalkeeper. Even one of us decided to step between the posts. Yep. Although I'm not sure that even quite would be enough there. We've also got a change up top. It's Santi Moreno back in the starting 11. He's up alongside Pedro Musa. And we saw Eric Quill go with Perfect Farrington, Pedro Musa, Logan Farrington against Vancouver. And it drew some results. Farrington gets a penalty. You also see him get a goal later on. But this feels like, of the possible combinations, and there are 3, this feels like the most on-balance combination of the 3 attackers Dallas has that are starting for
Yeah, to me, it's almost. I sort of agree with you, but I also think it's 1 and 1A with these guys. So, yeah, Musa and Marino back together. I do think the balance is pretty good there. But I also see two different versions of what Eric Will can go with. One with this pair, Marino playing in behind. What we see tonight, but I also see Marino playing in behind Musa Farrington in some different arrangements. So, all three of them together, and I think both can be effective in different places. The other thing you introduce here is that this is the third game in 8 days. We knew there was going to be rotation. Logan Farrington expends a lot of effort out there, so maybe on the road, this one, because you're adding one more midfielder, maybe it's a little bit more defensive, and maybe that has something to do with it because, as we're going to talk about, San Jose scores a lot of goals too. And,
in that midfield where San Jose has made some hay as of late, you keep the central midfielders, Ramiro and Ka'ike. We'll talk a little bit more about Ka'ike in just a second, but Joaquin Valiente comes back into the lineup. And then Patrickson Delgado gets the start for Ron Benjamin, who's played a lot of minutes recently. That feels very much like trying to make the closest like-for-like you can. And, obviously Benjamin's been pretty good. I think he would probably be restored if everyone was healthy to the lineup. But this feels like a very big opportunity for someone in Patrickson Delgado who has seen his spot on the roster, quite frankly, just fall since the arrival of Santi Moreno.
Well, I think you've nailed it there. I think Delgado really has to find ways to impact the game, be that in another set-piece goal like we saw a few weeks ago up at DC United, winning some balls in midfield, advancing the ball in a meaningful way when FC Dallas is in possession because, honestly, outside of the one really good free kick goal that he did score and that romp and stop up in the nation's capital against DC United, he just hasn't found ways to be impactful in matches. And, the clock is ticking on that guy, so he needs to have a big match tonight.
And in that defensive line, we see Osaze Urquide, Nolan Norris remain. Shaq Moore remains, but he slides presumably over to center back, and Herman Johansson's restored. You could assume that he'll probably play that right back spot. And that's interesting because we talked about on the build-up yesterday that one of the key matchups was going to be Jomar Ricketts, the left winger for San Jose, against whoever plays right back. And I had said it was going to be either Herman or Shaq. It might kind of be both tonight because you've got two really veteran quality defenders who know that right side against a guy that gets in a lot of crosses in Ricketts.
Yeah, as Eric Quill still is mixing and matching a little bit and moving things around just a little bit, I do think that Herman Johansson and Shaq are probably two of the best 11 players on the field. Right now it just happens that Herman Johansson's playing the spot where Shaq is best at. So I do like the idea of getting these guys both on the field. How you go about that, that's where it gets a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. I'll let the coaching staff handle that for me in this case. And a big decision from the front office this week is we got an announcement late in the week that Ka'ike has signed a new contract extension. He'll be here with options through the 2031 season. And, it's a big reward for a U22 signing that's a roster spot Dallas has struggled with recently in signing. But it's a reward for a guy that has really shown growth since he arrived last March.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there with that word growth because, he's just 20 years old. Last year, if I'd seen that or if you'd asked me, should they extend him, I would have said, let's see. But this year, I think we've seen that growth. I think there's a little bit less helter-skelter in his game, just a little bit more maturity, a little bit more thought around his game. I think he makes smarter choices with the ball, on when to tackle. I think he's doing all this without giving up that trademark effort, the desire and the physical ability that we see, and the ability to cover ground. So he's definitely not the finished product. He still has to tighten up his defensive awareness, I think, in moments. But we have seen real progress, and so I think he's been rightly rewarded with the contract extension.
Yeah, it really does kind of go into the ethos of a club, which is, extending early. We saw that with Farrington. We saw that with Kamunga. We've seen that with a few different guys getting in with those contract extensions early when they show the potential, and Ka'ike is another good example of that. Well, San Jose is the opponent tonight, and as we were discussing in pre-show, they were white hot. They are second in the Western Conference. They've got 29 points. They're tied coming into tonight with Vancouver, but it's gone a little bit less good for them lately. They're winless in their last three. They also lost 3-2 on Wednesday, this against the Seattle Sounders. And they're doing it all without Nico Chiqueras. He's out with groin surgery. He's out 3 to 4 months. That could be the rest of the regular season, even with the World Cup break. And Timo Werner with the very hockey lower body injury. We don't even have a timeline on him. Just know he's not playing tonight. And without those two, we have seen San Jose take a step down. But you can't dissuade the Quakes, especially with Bruce Arena on the touchline.
No, for sure. I mean, this team was absolutely cooking before they lost those two. Really one of the stories of Major League Soccer this year. And now they sort of look like a team that's just hanging on, sort of still getting some results, but also maybe wearing down a little bit because they didn't have a lot of depth. Now missing these two key starters and also probably feeling the combined effect of a busy schedule and that thin depth, so again, wearing down a little bit, they're also in the U.S. Open Cup. So it's still a good team though, because look, they've got some quality wins out there, 3-0 over San Diego, 5-1 over Austin. They got a win at Vancouver, 4-1 at LAFC, and I watched that game, and that was not a mistake. I mean, they took it to LAFC, and then against the weaker teams, at home against Kansas City and Atlanta, they're posting clean sheets. So doing a lot of things right there that we'll talk about, but a lot of it is just Bruce Arena. Bruce Arena managing to squeeze a little bit more out of the roster, out of the players, and I mean, it's just that guy doing it again, man.
I'm probably going to Larson a stat from Ryan Figert here, but Bruce Arena, 282 career wins in MLS. Interim manager tonight for FC Dallas, Mark Briggs, as Eric Quill's serving a red card suspension. 0 MLS wins, which is only slightly better than Eric Quill's 17 if he was on the touchline. So an experience gap, I think, is to say the least here.
Sure.
For FC Dallas and San Jose. But that is Steve Davis, who never brings an experience gap, even though he absolutely could. You'll hear him alongside Ryan Figert on the call tonight, and we'll talk about him in our third segment as well. Steve, we'll talk to you in just a minute.
Sounds good, Sam.
When we return here on the FC Dallas pregame show, we'll have the sounds of tonight's match. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
You push your body hard in the name of fitness. Sure, it's for a good cause. But a good cause shouldn't mean sacrificing a good time. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible together.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Winner, winner, Chick-fil-A dinner. All season long, when FC Dallas wins at home, fans win free Chick-fil-A. Be sure your Chick-fil-A app is up to date and location services are turned on when you attend matches at Toyota Stadium. After the team wins, before you leave your seats, open the app to redeem the Chick-fil-A offer. Welcome back to the FC Dallas pregame show presented by Toyota here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. In our next segment, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis will join me to break down tonight's lineup and tactics for this Western Conference showdown. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about the FC Dallas Radio Network podcast feed, available everywhere you get free podcasts. Of course, it's anchored by the post-game show, highlights, stats, analysis, and a nice 30 minutes or so package. It's the best analysis you'll get of any FC Dallas game anywhere here on this planet. It goes live shortly after the final whistle, and then it goes on the podcast feed just shortly after we finish up, so it'll be available for your commute anytime you're looking for it. And we're in the middle of Season 2 of the FC Dallas Agenda, the official FC Dallas podcast. Of course, that's long-form analysis, thoughts, and interviews for everyone that's anyone here at FC Dallas. That includes people like Andre Zanata, Eric Quill, Petter Musa, Logan Farrington, Sam Sarver. Anybody has been on the FC Dallas Agenda. Those episodes come out normally around Wednesday on a normal match week. although they do tend to drop if we have major news later in the week or even sometimes earlier in the week. And just this season, we've introduced everybody to the Build-Up, our preview show right before our match. It drops on the Friday before or the day before if it's a midweek match. It's about usually 20 to 25 minutes to get you what's going on with both teams, who's hurt, the lineups, the opposing matchup, the big storylines, everything you need to know about the match that's upcoming in about a 20-minute package. It'll drop the day before our match whenever we have the ability. So how do you get all this great content? Well, what you do, you go to your podcast provider of choice, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get free podcast. Type in FC Dallas Radio Network and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our great content. Now let's get you to the sounds of tonight's match, and this time they feature defender Herman Johansson.
I mean, I think it was an even game, going a little bit back and forth. Sadly, they came out on top this time, but you know, that's football. Could go both ways. So yeah, sadly for us, they went on top this time. We were going forward, so just try to go forward as much as you can, putting crosses, be at the far post, attack the area. Yeah, we didn't quite get up to those situations a lot, but yeah, that was the message. Yeah, I mean, we all also always have to move forward, look to the next game. Now it's many games in a short amount of time, so tomorrow we take a look at San Jose and see what they have in the locker and prepare for that. No, okay. Like I said, many games in a short amount of time, so we rest a few guys today to manage the load a little bit. So, but we'll see against San Jose. I mean, it's always to lose at home in front of your fans, but I mean, we try our best. We move forward. We do a lot of practice and training. We have to continue doing better, of course, but I think we're moving forward. So I think this was just an even game. Sadly, they came out on top this time.
When we return on the FC Dallas pregame show, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis join me to help break down tonight's lineup and tactics. This is FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And a spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
God, I'm saying wow.
This is Logan Farrington, striker for FC Dallas. Behind every goal, there's a team you don't always see. The ones keeping everything running, secure, connected, ready. That's General Informatics. From cybersecurity to smarter IT solutions, General Informatics powers FC Dallas with advanced technology support so we can stay focused on the game. General Informatics. Complex IT made simple.
Welcome back to the FC Dallas pregame show presented by Toyota here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. We've got just about 20 minutes until kickoff at PayPal Park. So let's go ahead and get you tonight's starting lineups, and those are brought to you this evening by Advocare. We'll start first with the home side San Jose Earthquakes and second-year head coach Bruce Arena. It's Daniel in net for the Quakes tonight, Biji Kakanovich, Daniel Mooney, Reed Roberts, and Jack Jasinski across the back line for San Jose. Ian Harks and Ronaldo Vieira are in the midfield. We've got Bolero flanked by Usindi Buddha and Jamar Ricketts, alongside Preston Judd up top for the Quakes. And now let's go ahead and bring you the starting lineup for FC Dallas and interim manager Mark Briggs.
Jonathan Sirois, goalkeeper, Montreal, Canada.
Herman Johansson, wingback, Sweden.
Shaq Moore, right back, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Osaze Origide, center back, Netherlands, Nijmegen.
Nolan Norris, midfielder, Fort Worth, Texas.
Joaquín Valiente, mediocampista, Uruguay.
Ramiro Benetti, midfielder, Brasil.
Kaique, midfield, Brasil.
Patrickson, mediocampista, Ecuador.
Santiago Moreno, mediocampista, Colombia.
Petar Musa, forward, from Zagreb, Croatia.
And the subs tonight for Dallas: Michael Colodi, Lalas Abubakar, Ron Benjamin, Christian Kappas, Logan Farrington, Josh Torquato, Sebastian Biaga, Caleb Swan, and Sam Sarver. Now let's bring in the voices of tonight's MLS After Dark contest. It's Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. And Ryan, I remember on the FC Dallas agenda, you, me, and Steve were predicting how many points Dallas would get out of this 5-game stretch. I said 7. Y'all both said 9. Dallas can get to 9 tonight with a win, and 10 would be great, as we talked about in the first segment. How would you feel about 8? Because that might feel like the most plausible at the moment.
I feel like there's 3 points to play for tonight in San Jose, and for as good as the Earthquakes have been this season, there's reason to believe that they're on a bit of a downward turn, and they're without key guys. I think this team has consistently been up to the task in road matches going back to last season. I think there's no reason to think that they can't come away with 3 tonight and start this 9-game road stretch either side of the World Cup break in the win column.
And, it kind of feels imperative after what happened on Wednesday against Vancouver, where, Steve, they showed up for the fight. You score 2 goals. You score first, which is something Vancouver has not really experienced much this year. But just those little mistakes really doomed them. Avoiding those little mistakes in general will be very critical if they want to get 1 or 3 tonight at PayPal Park.
Yeah, you're right about that, because I think one of the things San Jose does this year under Bruce Arena is they limit their mistakes. They just don't beat themselves, and that's sort of a trademark of a Bruce Arena team. I think he's probably the best man manager in the history of Major League Soccer. And one of the things that he does is he identifies, what guys can do and what they can't do. So he'll take a guy like, center back Daniel Mooney, who maybe nobody sees as an MLS All-Star, although right now he's getting some All-Star votes, and he might bring him aside and say something like, hey, this is your pass out of the back. This is a pass that you hit really well. If this pass isn't on, don't hit it. Just play safe. But if it's on, you play that way. So what I'm getting at here is they limit their mistakes that way. He gets them not to do things they can't really do. So if you make the mistakes, you lose games. This is one of those things where we have the conversation about how maybe teams don't win games as much as teams lose games. So you're absolutely right. Can't make mistakes tonight.
No, most definitely. And Ryan, one of the big changes for Dallas tonight is going to be Jonathan Sirwal making his debut for FC Dallas. He started a ton for Montreal in net, but that's starting for Montreal in net. Let's be honest, it's not exactly the most ideal situation. And it's a big change. Michael Colodi getting his first sit for the night. He'll be on the bench. And, one of the big things that this is going to change is how FC Dallas plays offense, because Colodi with his feet is one of his biggest assets. And we don't know yet how Soroy is going to handle that part of the game.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. I think personally it's a decision I would have held off on for a couple more games, get into that World Cup break, and then sit down your goalkeepers, talk with Drew Keyshawn, your goalkeeper coach, and say, hey, I want an open competition for the number 1 spot when we come back. I think, talking about man management, it's a very interesting call to do it now. Obviously, I think we can all acknowledge that Colodi had probably his worst game since he became a starter last time out against Vancouver. But he's also had good moments this season, too. It hasn't been like he's been consistently the reason that you're dropping points. So it feels like a big call, and let's see what Jonathan has. I know he's been excited for this opportunity and waiting patiently for this chance. We thought maybe it would come a little bit later on. Maybe he would get the run in Leagues Cup, or we would see him for the first time in that sort of abbreviated preseason when we come back after these 2 games. But he's got a chance when it counts tonight, and Eric Quill showed us last season, if a guy puts in a good performance in goal, he's going to stick with him. That was Jacob Jackson last year. It was Michael Colodi. That's how he won the job. So this isn't a backup coming in for a spot start. It's Eric Quill believes he can help the team tonight, and if he does well, he'll keep hold of it.
Yeah, and I think we should be very specific about it. It wasn't that Colodi was terrible the other day. There are no howlers out there. It was just that there were 2 goals that maybe he could have done just a little bit better on at this level. It cost him some points the other day. So, again, not that he was terrible, but maybe you would expect him to make at least one of those saves.
And, you mentioned he does have experience, right? 3 full seasons as a starter in Montreal at the age of 24. 89 games played. Tonight will be his 90th, and 24 clean sheets. it's at least considerably more experience than you had with Michael Collodi. Now I think the upside with Collodi is probably higher, although they're both similar size, same age, similar profile. Maybe this is just a deal where they're going to trade the job back and forth depending on who's hot at that moment.
Wouldn't be surprising as Dallas kind of looks for any edge they can get heading into the World Cup break. And, one of the biggest edges they'll have is up top tonight, Steve. While Preston Judd has 9 goals, here comes Petar Musa with 11 goals, second in the Golden Boot race. Santi Moreno is back up there with him. And we've kind of accepted that, there's a lot of versatility in how Eric Quill structures his attack. With putting Moreno and Musa back together tonight, what do you think that tells you about how the team wants to perform tonight?
Well, the team wants to perform by scoring goals. I mean, if you're talking about how they play, I think it is important that these two continue to develop chemistry between them, and I think they will. I think there have been times when both of them sort of drop in, which is what they want to do, and it doesn't leave you with enough players up front. So they need to sort of keep working that out and get the balance right. So I do think that these two have a very high level soccer intelligence, and I think the more that they're on the field together, it's got to be a good thing.
And meanwhile, Ryan, we've talked a little bit about the depth of San Jose, or the lack thereof. It's kind of hurting them in the last 3 games. It's not Dallas's problem, especially up top, because if Musa or Moreno get tired, here comes Logan Farrington to just cause more problems for your center backs.
Absolutely. There's a lot of options for Eric Quill / Mark Briggs tonight to turn to the bench and bring fresh legs in. We've talked about Ron Benjamin's added something recently in his run of starts. He can come into this game as well. So I like as the game wears on, also acknowledging that San Jose play again on Wednesday in the Open Cup, I like Dallas's depth to potentially give them an edge late in the game.
And for those just tuning in who may not aware, Eric Quill serving a 1-game red card suspension as he was picked up. I don't think we still know the exact reason why.
It was listed as stepping outside the area to provide dissent.
Okay.
Which I guess is a technical thing, but I feel like I see that every match in Major League Soccer, so it looked weird to me. I thought it was undeserved.
It was very strange, but regardless, it's a thing. So Mark Briggs is taking the touchline tonight in place of Quill, who will be back for next week against Colorado. By the way, we talk about Petar Musa and Santi Moreno. MLSsoccer.com/vote till Thursday, baby. Let's get Petar Musa in Charlotte for the All-Star game. He's only got 11 goals, people. Come on.
I put my votes in today. He was on the list.
See, be like Steve Davis. It's always a good advice, but especially right now, MLSsoccer.com/vote. You have until Thursday. Please do it. Thank you very much. Steve, looking at the midfield for tonight, it looks very similar with one big change. Kaique, Ramiro, and Joaquin Valiente have been pretty much mainstays since the shift to the 4-4-2. But this is Patrickson getting the start for Ron Benjamin, who, to his credit, has played a lot over the last month or so and done it pretty well. And this is a big, as we mentioned in our first segment, a big opportunity for Patrickson. But I'm curious, what do you think he can bring to that spot that maybe Ron doesn't?
So, they don't really have a lot of good options over there. In fact, they don't really have a natural left-sided midfielder. And I don't even know if you would cite Bernie Kamungo as one. He's probably a little different profile. So right now they're sort of doing it by committee, and Patrickson Delgado is one of the guys in the committee. I think you're right. I think Ron Benjamin has shown me a little something at that spot, but he does expend a lot of effort. It is the 3rd game in 8 days, and so in comes Patrickson Delgado. He needs to be smart in his positioning. He needs to defend honestly, which he usually does. He wins duels. I think what he really needs to do, though, is be a little bit more creative, break a few more lines with passes, find more ways to find the spaces, between the lines, which I think that's where he sort of maybe misses the mark a little bit. He just doesn't find the ball enough, and then a guy like Santi Moreno comes in, and it looks like he's on the ball every time Dallas gets in possession. So that's what I think he needs to do tonight. Just find more ways to impact the game generally.
Meanwhile, just to his right, Ryan, Ramiro and Kaique get another start. They've pretty much been the consistent midfield pairing in those center spots. And I think after a little bit of experimentation with Christian Kappas, who's also a starting quality midfielder for Dallas, this has really turned into the best pairing of midfielders that Dallas has available to them right now.
It's interesting because I think I agree with you, but I also think that the best version of FC Dallas, when it comes to playoff time and you want to be peaking, it's got to have Christian Kappas in the lineup somewhere. I just think he's too good to be left out of the team. And, whether he comes in for one of these two guys or alongside one of these two guys like we saw last game, I think there's going to have to be a moment where he gets back in the team and gets back to form if this team is going to go on to be what we think they can be.
I would agree with that. And, the Kappas Odyssey has been one we've been tracking all season. I'm curious to see, especially post-World Cup break, where he ends up in the pecking order. Meanwhile, on that back line, Steve, it's Johansson, Moore, Urgide, and Norris. And, boy, that creates a really interesting scenario because on that left side, Osaze can now slide over to help Nolan if there's any sort of speed on that. But then you've got two natural right backs in Shaq Moore and Herman Johansson who are now going to play that right-hand side. It gives Dallas kind of a little bit of versatility in that space.
Yeah, well, first of all, you say if there's any speed on that side, Osuni Buddha is that speed. So,
that's right.
He's a pretty good player. I like him. So there is going to be some sliding over there. Nolan Norris is, I think he's been really, really solid. He's not the fastest guy, so they may have to give him a little help over there. But the other problem there is that Preston Judd is really good. He's scoring goals, first of all, this year, but also just at doing the movements that occupy center backs. What does that do? That means the center backs can't go out there and help. So and that's we're gonna Ryan's already called me out for one of my keys that he knew was coming, but that means it keeps those outside backs on an island. So Johansson and Norris have to be pretty good out there tonight.
And Ryan's, because we've got a very good San Jose starting front here. Preston Judd, as Steve just mentioned, 9 goals, 2 assists in his starting career so far here in 2026. But no Nico Chikaris, he's out with injury. Same with Timo Werner. But you've got Usini Buddha, you got Jamarca Ricketts, who's actually third on the team in goals plus, as we mentioned on the build-up yesterday. You've got Bo LaRue, who has been pretty – LaRue, yes, that's right. You mark it down on your bingo cards, folks. That's, I think, number 3 on the night. But that's a very talented front four, even though if they don't have the name recognition.
I was going to say, if you read me that front four 6 months ago, I'd say it might be starting in USL Championship. And that's with no disrespect to those guys. They didn't have the pedigree. I mean, when you look up and down the roster, it's guys that have come from the draft, been signed after being undrafted out of college soccer. I mean, this is an absolute masterclass in getting the most out of very little. Now you're spending big money on Timo Werner, who they hope can elevate this entire project, but he's out right now. So you're turning to Jamar Ricketts, and you're turning to guys that, you never really expected to step into starting roles potentially throughout their entire career. They were guys that filled the bench here in San Jose or wherever they've been previously. So, huge credit to Bruce Arena, his staff, the player development, and also these players that have stepped up and made a name for themselves, because they certainly didn't have the name recognition coming into the season. I think they've got a new Wondolowski and Preston Judd, and it's very similar, their career trajectory. Coming to San Jose a little bit later, Preston Judd was in L.A., Wondolowski was down in Houston, arriving and now really betting into the team 25, 26 and scoring goals for fun. He started this last year under Bruce. He was really consistent in scoring in the minutes he got, and he earned this starting spot, and he hasn't looked back.
And the guys that they replaced, is Joseph Martinez a legend in Major League Soccer? Chicho Arango, a match winner, but I also think that these guys, they defend from the front, so it's allowed them to play. I was going to
say, stop me if you've heard this before. Yeah. High money, big name player leaves the team. The team suddenly is cohesive and gels and plays better together. They defend from the front.
Yep.
It's very similar to what we saw last year in Dallas.
Yeah, that is strikingly similar now that I think about it. And to give a little bit more credit to Bruce before we get to our keys to the match. He's got a left back playing left wing. He's got a right back playing left back. He's got a midfielder playing a 10, and he's got a forward playing right back tonight. If that's not the most Bruce Arena thing, and it's all working, by the way. So
well, it's working, except they've cooled off a little bit. So to Ryan's point a while ago, there's a vulnerability about them tonight.
Well, let's talk about some of those vulnerabilities as we get to tonight's keys to the match. They are presented by Toyota, and for those, we go back to Steve Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Number one is, Ryan called it, cross prevention, because San Jose hits a lot of crosses, second in Major League Soccer, especially from the right, and more importantly, they hit a lot of effective crosses on the ground, driven into good spots. If the outside backs can get out there and reduce the volume and the quality, they can somewhat limit San Jose's ability to do damage. Number two, it's sort of similar. You got to protect the back post, because if you watch San Jose's goals this year, and there's a lot of them to see, you'll catch a couple of trends, and one of those is it crosses aimed at the back post. So again, it's on the outside backs, not only for cross prevention, but they can't fall asleep marking at the back post. You fall asleep marking at the back post against San Jose, it's a very bad idea. And number three, they just got to find the next level. A week ago, FC Dallas beat a really good RSL team because everyone found a way to contribute. Everyone was pretty good. Then they lost in midweek. Most everyone was okay, but they couldn't find that something extra, couldn't find the next level. They need to find it tonight, and if they can find it tonight, they got a good chance of getting all 3 points against a team with some vulnerabilities. Those, Sam, are your keys, presented by Toyota.
Thank you, Steve Davis. Last time San Jose lost in this matchup at PayPal Park, July 18th, 2016. It was a 1-0 win for Dallas with a wonder goal by none other than Maxi Urruti, who had himself just a banger of a bicycle kick that day. That was the last time Dallas won. They will look to try and beat that 10-year curse tonight as we try to get a win out in San Jose. That's going to do it for the pregame show. When we return, Ryan and Steve get you ready for kickoff here in the first half. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
God, I'm saying wow.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible together.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
PayPal Park is the venue for FC Dallas to start the longest road stretch in club history tonight. It's the first of 9 consecutive matches away from the comforts of Frisco, and they start at a venue where the team has managed precious few positive results historically, and that was before Bruce Arena flipped the script and turned the Quakes into one of the best teams in Major League Soccer. This one sets the tone for the long trip. We thank you so much for staying up late with us here on the FC Dallas Radio Network as we await kickoff from the West Coast. Ryan Figured in the booth alongside Steve Davis. And Steve, last time out on Wednesday against Vancouver, I ended the intro by saying it was prove-it time for FC Dallas. And once again, against one of the league's best teams, they came up just short. But they get another opportunity 3 days later to come and prove it again, and this time it's against San Jose.
Yeah, the trouble is that San Jose rotated their lineup the other day, largely rotated, so they should be a little bit more rested. But you're right as far as the prove-it goes, because Dallas now 1 win, 4 losses, and 1 draw against teams with winning records.
It's worth noting, if you're just joining us, Eric Quill not on the sideline. There will be no red hat patrolling the touchline. Instead, it is Mark Briggs tonight. Eric Quill serving a 1-game suspension for the red card picked up on Wednesday. It's the 44-year-old from Wolverhampton, England, who's in as a head coach for the first time since he took charge of Birmingham Legion against Charleston Battery in October of 2025.
Speaking of warnings, Osaze cannot get a yellow card tonight. He will miss the if he gets a yellow card tonight, he will miss the last game before the big break. So
it's Chris Penso in the middle today, the center official, assisted by Jeffrey Friesen and Nick Balser. The VAR is Kevin Stott as Dallas are in their red and blue hoops and will move from right to left in this first half. San Jose in their traditional black with blue accents will move from left to right. Looking to get back in the win column after 3 winless. An incredible start to life this season under Bruce Arena. They've just cooled off a little bit. Injuries have been a big part of that. And Dallas feels there's an opportunity against the team that came into the night, tied for first in the West. We are underway at PayPal Park. Dropped off to Jonathan Sirois, who gets his first touches as an FC Dallas player to send it long up to the right side towards Johansson. Last touch off the Quakes and out for a throw.
Just like when Collodi is on the ball, they love that big boot up the right side. Aim for Johansson, and usually Peter Musa slides over there, give him two big targets to aim at.
Johansson fires the throw down the line into the feet of Musa, trying to flick it along. It's Delgado in pursuit at the top of the San Jose box. It's cleared away and out for a Dallas throw by Daniel Mooney. Johansson will take it once again. Approaching the 18-yard box extended. He takes it towards Kaique, recently announced this week. Oh, here's a giveaway, and it's Santi Moreno now. Slip ball in behind from Musa. Well cut out by Kikanovic. Second effort, and Dallas grabbed the earlier lead within 60 seconds. It's Patrickson Delgado as the Quakes make a mess of it at the back, and it's the Ecuadorian back in the team to take advantage.
Oh, what a mess indeed. The ball he gets passed right to Santi Moreno. He tries to play Petr Musa in. Musa couldn't quite find it. Got beaten to the ball, but it bounces right to Patrickson Delgado, and we talked about how Dallas can't make a mistake. Well, San Jose made a big one, and Patrickson Delgado made them pay.
Well, they've been so good at eliminating those mistakes this season, and within 60 seconds give Dallas a huge opportunity. Moreno set up Musa, but it was cut out by Kikanovic in retreat. It broke for Patrickson from right around the penalty spot.
Deflected shot, too.
And he fired it towards goal with his left foot, deflected off Kikanovic and past Daniel. Nothing the keeper could do about it. And that's just about the perfect start for FC Dallas.
I love what Moreno did, though. He immediately put San Jose under pressure as he picks up that ball. He immediately tries to play Petr Musa in. It wasn't the best pass, to be honest, but by playing that ball immediately, you know, he made San Jose react. He asked the question, and they didn't really clear the ball very well. Went right to Delgado, and he put it home on the deflection.
Second goal of the season for Delgado, both away from home. The free kick at DC United in a 4-0 rout. San Jose building up into the Dallas half on the far side. Slips the ball towards Preston Judd. Matched up here with Uriguide on the top of the Dallas box. Uriguide just nudges him away and clears it out for a throw.
Yeah, Uriguide just put a little hand out and sort of big brothered him a little bit. Not enough for any kind of a referee action there from Chris Penso, but nice, good early moment from Uriguide.
San Jose get the targets forward from the back. They're going to prepare a long throw here with the Cine Buda.
They didn't give us a shot. It's a corner kick. I didn't see that. They didn't give us a shot of Bruce Arena reacting on the sideline. I would have liked to have seen the Bruce face on that one.
Definitely thought it went out for a throw, but it'll be the first corner kick of the game for the Quakes. Whipped in on the in-swinger by Buda to the top of the 6, headed clear. Ronaldo Vieira picks up the pieces 30 yards from goal. Now lifts it back out to Buda on the far side. Buda whipped in off the right foot, right on top of Sirois, who comes with a two-handed punch away. And he draws the contact as well for a foul.
Good early moment there from Sirois because it's a cross put into a pretty good place right at the top of the 6 where you want it. Maybe floated a little bit, which allowed him to get out there and put two big fists on it.
Sirois in for Michael Collodi, who had started every previous game this season. And it's his first start, in fact, in Major League Soccer since September 13th of 2025 in net for Montreal against St. Louis.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm certain that's FC Dallas' earliest goal this year, and probably earliest in some time. Our producer Sam Hale will be quickly on the job on that one, I bet.
There's a ball lifted over the top. It's pursued by Moreno, dealt with there, but the ball breaks again for Valiente, dropping off the front line on the dribble now, middle of the field, over to Nolan Norris at left back, and wide for Santi Moreno on this left wing. Cuts back to his right foot, plays the ball back for Ramiro, wearing the armband again tonight for Dallas. Back with Moreno off the left, back for Ramiro again. Here's the return on the 1-2. Moreno now centrally, driving from left to right, finds Musa. Positive first touch. Now he faces up towards goal, 25 yards out, poked out to Kaique. Wide left, back to Musa, top of the box. Pirouettes past one defender, ball still bouncing. Patrickson trying to lift it towards Musa, eventually cleared away. And Norris got it back to Sirois, but he was cleared out by Preston Judd. and draws a foul for Dallas just into the San Jose half. Norris with a little look of disgust towards the San Jose striker, who's enjoying a career year so far with 9 goals and 2 assists.
I feel like what FC Dallas players, Urguide included, they're trying to make the case that
it's dangerous, really.
It was maybe a high boot there, maybe the cleat showing.
Here's Moreno, corner of the 18 on the dribble, trying to slip it in behind for Patrickson. It's cut out there. And the clearance is knocked out by Ramiro for a San Jose throw on halfway. And the Quakes reeling a little bit in front of a sellout crowd tonight at PayPal Park. They're in the midst of a 3-game winless slide after a near-perfect start to the season. Both their losses so far have been against Seattle this year, funny enough, home and away. The offside flag goes up, it's out for a throw, and taken quickly by Norris into Moreno, who's tripped up by Buda. And it'll be a free kick for Dallas, same spot as before, just into the San Jose half on the near side.
I mean, San Jose looks a little rattled right now. Kikanovic just plays the ball right out of bounds on the pass, and Dallas throws the ball in, and they foul immediately. There's the Bruce face that we're getting a picture of now.
Bruce Arena, now 74 years old, managing a professional soccer game for the 870th time. Here's Valiente, top of the San Jose box, over to Musa. Musa fires it, and Daniel was rooted to the spot, but the deflection takes it off target. And it'll be a corner.
Yeah, Valiente picks up a ball right outside the penalty area, turns and shuttles a little left-footed pass over to Musa. He takes a touch and then fires a ball. I thought that was goal-bound, and
it's not far away.
It wasn't, but it does take a deflection. It might have been goal-bound. It's going to be a corner kick.
7th minute, Dallas with the first corner kick opportunity of the night. It'll be Moreno to take. This time towards the back post. Johansson nods it back into the middle, and the chance was there. Nolan Norris closest to it. Nodded just off target. Maybe Musa got the last touch, but something clearly orchestrated there, going to Johansson at the back post to try and put it back across.
Yeah, usually 2 headers like that, Ryan, you're going to score, and I thought that it was so close in, and you're right, I couldn't tell whether it was Musa or Nolan Norris. We're going to get another look at it. It was Musa, and he's so close in. I really thought that was about to be 2-0.
Oh, you would have put the house on that one, at least forcing a save from Daniel, who was flapping. But that's 2 opportunities in quick succession for Musa to double an early lead here for Dallas. Really strong start on the road.
Yeah, San Jose just gave the ball right back.
Moreno back to Ramiro on the halfway line, down the line towards Norris. It's deflected out for a Dallas throw. A lot of spaces between the lines for Dallas to try and work with. This one, the throw towards Moreno is turned over, but Kaique immediately back on it. And now Norris picks out the ball towards Valiente. It's intercepted by Harks. Now LaRue will try and lead the break. He finds Buda, back to LaRue. And now Vieira in towards Preston Judd. Urguide steps in the way, got a piece of it, and it's cleared away by Shaq Moore.
Now you talk about all that space. I mean, it's been LaRue and Vieira. I think they've been a really solid tandem in there in the 4-2-3-1 that San Jose plays. But, you know, with things moving around, now LaRue has to go up and play 10, which he's not as good at. Ian Harks comes in. Now he's sitting next to Vieira, and I think you're right. They really haven't. The midfield for San Jose looks like a little bit of a mess right now.
Sirois goes long for Dallas, under pressure there from Preston Judd, and it sails out right around the halfway line for a San Jose throw.
I think Sirois dwelled on the ball just a little bit too long there, and it's something that San Jose can still do even without their 2 key attackers. They can still press and do it pretty effectively.
They'll get a second chance at the throw, this time about 20 yards into the Dallas half on the far side. Interesting to see Valiente and Patrickson exchanging positions early in this game. Here's Valiente, gets it back off the interception from Johansson. Now Valiente sprinting up the far side. He wins the throw right around halfway.
Well, it's interesting because I've seen Moreno and Delgado do it a little bit, so maybe it's sort of fluid in there that those 3 can interchange a bit.
Seen Moreno mostly off the left wing so far tonight. He mostly has played in central positions so far in Dallas colors. Here's Patrickson now, receives it with a nice first touch, pokes it towards Moreno, top of the box, brings it down inside the area now. Back to his defender, and he's called for a stray hand there. Got up in the face area of Kikanovic, or at least Kikanovic convinced the referee that was the case. And that kills a promising attack.
I mean, Dallas has a chance here. San Jose just started pretty poorly, and Dallas, I feel like they can easily get a second goal here and really put some pressure on the home team.
Ramiro in possession in the center circle, lifts it over the top, looking for Valiente. Corner of the 18, flag goes up. Valiente a step in behind too soon there.
I mean, right now San Jose just can't connect out of the back.
Ronaldo Vieira now trying to drop in deep and help out. He's wearing the captain's armband tonight. Sliding tackle from Patrickson. He's going to draw a whistle against Reed Roberts. Still in the San Jose half. They'll restart with a free kick taken short by Harks.
It's one of the things I think San Jose really misses without Shakiris in there, because he's a really good line breaker with his passing, and Dallas is taking advantage of it right now, of him not being in there.
Daniel Mooney in the San Jose half, out to Kikanovic on the halfway line. Down the line for Buda, forced back to Kikanovic, and Patrickson right there. Gets in the way, pokes it out for a throw. Patrickson with the goal, 60 seconds into the game, as we've now played over 10 minutes at PayPal Park. Dallas for the second straight game, 4 days in between games against the top two teams in Major League Soccer this season. Kaique on the dribble through the middle of the field. Patrickson back to Ramiro, who has space. Still in the Dallas half. Over to Valiente. Valiente keeps it moving out to Herman Johansson. Bombing forward from right back. Plenty of runners to his left. Surveys the options. Goes for the low cross towards Musa. And it deflects out for a corner on the far side.
Yeah, Musa was making a really good, strong inside to outside run there. A little diagonal run. And Herman Johansson spotted the run. Tried to make the pass. And pretty good intervention there by San Jose, although it turns into the corner kick.
First corner kick opportunity from the far side tonight for Dallas. First corner in general went to Johansson, who nodded that ball back across to Musa, and it was a great opportunity. This time it's whipped in towards the near post, looking for Norris, headed away by Judd. Back into the mixer by Moreno. Another fight for it. Kikanovic nods away. Ball in the middle. Patrickson loses out there to Buda. Now a chance for the Quakes to get out and running. Harks pins the ball in behind, and that one way off the mark. It'll be comfortable for Sirois. Quickly fires it into midfield for Kaique. Disguise pass forward towards Moreno. Nearly lost out there. Guide got there just in time. Norris was all the way back for, almost said Kalodi. It's Sirois tonight. 24-year-old from Quebec, Canada. Longtime Montreal Impact #1. And now Johansson making his way up the far side. Grabbed a couple of yards, turns and plays back. Patrickson dropping a little deeper there. Turns and plays it back for Shaq Moore. Now all the way back again to Sirois.
I mean, I don't know if it's by design, but it looks like Delgado has a lot of freedom. And you're right, Moreno is really playing more the left side of the role, and it's Delgado playing underneath Musa more often.
Musa on the halfway line, back to Valiente, deep in the Dallas half, over to Norris, who puts it in behind, and Patrickson not on the same page there, not making the run. A run through for Daniel. And that's maybe the give or take of having a player with that license. It's unpredictable both for your own team as well as the opposition. So we get a look at Mark Briggs, who's the man in charge tonight in the absence of Eric Quill through suspension. Musa putting pressure on Daniel Mooney as the Quakes work it up the near side. Deflected ball. Norris stabs it back towards the San Jose end. It's brought down by Moreno. Down the line for Musa. Musa off the left wing. Plays it infield. Moreno keeping it alive. Finds Kaique. And the whistle goes. Late contact there on Santi Moreno. Be a Dallas free kick. This left center channel.
Good early start, I think, on a couple of touches by Kaique, which I think is important because as good as he was last week in the Dallas win, I think midweek he probably dropped a level. So good to see him have a good, strong start tonight.
His strong start to the season rewarded with a new contract. That was announced just on Thursday.
It's a huge opportunity.
And here comes the free kick opportunity. Dallas joined by the San Jose defenders on the top of the 18-yard box. Moreno and Valiente standing over it. It'll be Valiente to take outswinger into the mixer. And Musa went early, way early. It almost felt like he should have realized he went early as he challenged for it. The offside flag is up.
You said it.
Daniel will take the restart. Goes short over to Reed Roberts, the latest center back to come through the draft pipeline for San Jose. They've used a top 10 pick on a center back pretty much all of the last 5 years. It's a decent success. There's off the ball collision there. Ramiro just sort of clumsily into the back of Harks, and it'll be a San Jose free kick. Move it out to the far side, and Roberts. Jack Jasinski playing left back. He's a traditional right back. He's making his way forward here. Into the Dallas half, cutting onto his right foot. Plays it down the line. Kaike defending there against Buddha, who whips a left foot through it towards the back post, and that one is nodded off target. Preston Judd with his first involvement in the mixer there.
Yeah, that cross came from deep in the corner, and we talked about how effective San Jose can be with those, and that time it looked like Dallas had enough cover back there, and Preston Judd just attacking the ball and just sort of pushing Nolan Norris out of the way. Talked about how you got to be strong at the back post there. That time he just sort of muscled his way through Norris.
Actually quite perplexed as to how that ball stayed in play from how deep he took it with that technique. Really hard to convince me it didn't bend out of play and then back in. Dallas go long from the goal kick, and Moreno's unable to keep hold of it. San Jose now with Buddha on this near side. Buddha driving forward. Patrickson in pursuit. Norris across to meet him. Buddha picks out a nice cross. And there's the follow-up effort, and Sirois beaten at the near post as he came out to challenge for the cross that was dealt with by Uriguide. Bo LaRue smashes the rebound home to level things at 1.
Well, I was just about to say, Ryan, that you felt like San Jose had maybe settled down after 15 minutes and were starting to push Dallas back a little bit. And second time in succession that they were able to hit a good cross from the corner, and Dallas sort of made a mess out of that one. Yeah, Sirois came out. Didn't get it, then he was out of position for LaRue to just hammer a ball. You got to say it was a really well-struck ball on the full volley from the right side outside the 18.
Get another look at what happened there. Buddha, another deep cross in, and yeah, Sirois coming for it when really he's got to trust that Uriguide is going to handle that at the near post.
And there's two people out there on Buddha. It's Norris and Delgado, and neither one of them can get close enough to prevent the cross.
It's a sweet strike, to be fair. It is a wallop off the right foot right into the top corner, still rising as it hits the net.
On the full volley.
Well, that's killed the early momentum that Dallas had built. And we'll see where the next cards are played in this one. Johansson called for a foul there up into the back of Jamar Ricketts.
So now Dallas, after 15 really good minutes, and then sort of maybe just taking their foot off the accelerator a little bit. Now they've got to respond.
Out to the far side, Jasinski. Infield for Bo LaRue. Almost mentioned on the pregame show that I feel like every time you see a goal from Bo LaRue or from Ian Harks, they have that in their bag from 18 to 20 yards. Of course, that's what was so difficult for Dallas to deal with Berhalter on Wednesday. Here's a chance for Kikanovic into the final third. Low cross in towards Judd, and that was Preston Judd flashing to the near post, and his shot just over the bar.
Oh, that was
that
a quick
textbook Quakes.
Yep, quick combination, right side, cross, low, driven into that near post, danger area, and that one didn't miss by much. It's Kikanovic out there, and he hits a good cross into Judd, arriving into a good space at the near post.
Dallas, again, two center backs committed to Judd there, made it more difficult for him. But it's not really been a numbers issue, even on that play. 3 guys wide, and Kikanovic gets in behind all 3 of them. and ends up with an uncontested look to cross the ball in.
Yeah, that was just not good communication over there. Santi Marino trying to help Nolan Norris on that side, and Dallas just let Kikanovic go right in behind them.
San Jose throw as Valiente was unable to control it on the far side, deep in the Quakes half.
And that's exactly what I said a while ago. If you're Dallas, obviously they're trying to score, but you would have loved to have seen them just take advantage of San Jose just really starting on the back foot and really not having things together early. And now it looks like they've kind of pulled themselves back together.
3 chances to get that second goal. Here's a loose ball intercepted in midfield by Norris. Quickly played ahead to Santi Moreno. Moreno on the dribble towards the top of the box. Maybe took on one defender too many, but he quickly gets back in defensively, gets a touch on the ball. Norris now wrapped up with Buda. Patrickson trying to dig the ball out of the scrum, and he does. Pokes it back now for Ramiro. Ramiro back to Patrickson, back for Norris, who will turn and play it into the middle for Kaique. Dallas quick combinations here through the middle third. Valiente back to Kaique, space in the middle, back to Valiente, now towards Musa, 25 yards out, slips in behind. Ball still not cleared. It's a chance maybe now for Valiente, left-footed shot blocked, spinning out towards the corner flag. He'll retrieve it. Back for Patrickson, corner of the 18, 1-2 with Ramiro. Left-footed cross, deflected at the near post, and that made it comfortable for Daniel.
Now, a lot of good aggressive work there, good choices, good early choices, aggressive choices by Dallas. Carving out a couple of good half chances.
All over the top looking for Judd. Easily intercepted with the head of Osaze Arguide. Sends it down for Ramiro, just into the Dallas half on the near side. Patrickson on the halfway line, plays Kaique in the middle. Drills one out to Johansson. He brings it down with a couple of touches. Plays it back for Valiente. Right center channel, 1-2 again with Kaique. Now he hits the switching ball, puts it out in front of Norris to drive forward from left back. Back for Ramiro in the middle. Turns away from LaRue, plays it back to Nolan Norris. Pokes it inside for Moreno. Moreno now on the dribble, looking for the ball in behind for Musa, who is wrestling in the middle of the field with Reed Roberts, who got back in position to clear it away, out for a throw.
He was trying to connect there with Pedro Musa, just didn't hit the right weight on the pass. A minute ago, on the right side, one thing I'd like to see Herman Johansson do every now and then is just take on a defender out there on an island and beat him. And if there's room, we know that his first 3 or 4 steps aren't that fast, but just kick it by him and run. And I think over 20 yards, I think he can beat a lot of defenders.
Musa onto it near the corner flag on the near side. Ball into the middle for Patrickson. Sets down for Moreno towards the byline. Back for Musa, corner of the 18. First time cross to the top of the box. Breaks for Johansson. Slip ball out to the right side. Patrickson again. Fires the shot blocked. Back onto the rebound. Fires it back in off the hands of Daniel, who will catch with the second opportunity. And quickly fire it downfield with the punt. It's 1v2 there. Judd retrieves it with both Dallas center backs at home defensively. Judd just holding it up and waiting for support. And eventually Shaq Moore called for a foul he didn't really need to commit there, as Judd had nobody to help him.
On the other side, Dallas with some good combination work again to work the ball into a good spot. Patrickson Delgado ending up with the ball on the right side. Kind of thought Herman Johansson could have had a shot, but he slipped it into Delgado, who eventually, after a little bit of contention over there, drives the ball across. Daniel does a really good job of getting his hands on it at the near post.
It's going to be a free kick from wide on the far side. Off the right foot, flat service to the top of the box, intercepted by Ramiro, and that breaks for Moreno. Now beats his man in the middle of the field, driving forward on the dribble into the San Jose half, looking for support, and there was no support. It was just Ramiro who was running right alongside him. And Ramiro visibly frustrated as that attack breaks down.
I like Ramiro a lot for his organization back there, but I'm just not sure I want him out leading the break. He's just not fast enough.
I think sometimes you get those situations after you defend a set piece where it's you or it's nobody, and you just got to go for it, whether you're the best equipped for the job or not.
He's just not going to beat many players for speed.
San Jose in possession on the halfway line. Kekanovic pass intercepted by Ramiro. That's more his bag. And Norris goes back for Sirois. Uragide, pass there for Ramiro, easily intercepted by Harks. Out to Buda on this near side. Buda low cross is defended by Shaq Moore. As a rare moment there where Preston Judd didn't make the run to the near post when he potentially could have got on the end of the service. Quakes make a little bit of a mess of it and turn it over for a Dallas throw on this near side.
Seeing a picture again of Shaq over there. Just fouled a minute ago. Don't think there was much of a foul there, honestly.
Loose ball breaks in the middle for San Jose into the Dallas half. It's Harks wide here for LaRue on the near side. LaRue, left-footed service over everybody's head. That's going to bend behind for a goal kick.
Haven't seen a whole lot of LaRue after the he certainly made an impact on the match with the really terrific goal he scored on the full volley, but he just doesn't look as comfortable playing a little bit higher up the field compared to what he usually does.
Just 22 years old, playing in his native San Jose after playing at San Jose State University, and he's actually drafted 42nd in the 2024 MLS Super Draft, and he's really turned himself into a consistent contributor for Bruce Arena. Long from the goal kick. Heads go up to challenge for it. And Musa trying to get onto the loose ball. It breaks for Patrickson. Stab towards Moreno. 20 yards from goal. Centrally, Moreno fires the low shot and forces Daniel to palm it wide for a corner. I don't think we've seen shot volume like this in a first half on the road, maybe ever under Eric Quill. You saw it a second half bombardment in DC, but they've been active in this final third to start the game.
Yeah, the game generally has been played at a good pace. It's been eventful.
Moreno, corner kick from the near side into the 6-yard box, headed away. Kaike back into the middle. Musa brings it down at the penalty spot, looking for a lane to shoot, chops back. 4 defenders around him. Musa eventually gets the shot away, and it's blocked away. Loose ball, controlled by Valiente, out to Moreno, corner of the 18. Beats his defender there, now cuts back to his right foot. He's got 2 defenders to deal with. Eventually plays it back towards Patrickson. Patrickson a little bit loose, but it's fortunate that Shaq Moore was there to help out.
And Dallas's counter press has been really on point tonight.
Lofted ball towards the San Jose back line. Header won by Kekanovic. Patrickson header out to the near side for Kaike. The whole formation a little bit scrambled right now for Dallas. Kaike loses out there in the 1v1 battle with LaRue, who puts it in behind for Preston Judd on this near side. Uragide across to try and deal with it. Low cross easily intercepted by Shaq Moore. And now Nolan Norris with no pressure on him in the Dallas half. Stands on the ball.
What we've seen in the last 15 minutes, though, is just typical no-nonsense San Jose soccer. It's just release up right side, get the cross in. They just happen to be pretty good at it.
Musa receives it in the center circle, plays Moreno. Moreno over towards Ramiro, sets it down for Patrickson on the halfway line. Out to Johansson, in for Valiente. Johansson makes the run in behind. Valiente puts the pass out in front of him. Runners waiting at the back post. It's chipped in towards Musa. It's dealt with there by Kekanovic. Emergency defending, but the flag goes up. Another decent move there between 2 of the new boys this season, and Valiente and Johansson on that right side. I think Johansson maybe was half a stride too early, and those are some big strides from the Swede.
Well, I wonder if that's why maybe Musa didn't, yeah, he's definitely a step offside. Maybe didn't make a stronger run into the near post, because I kind of thought he was really just kind of hanging out a little too long at the back post, sort of marked back there, but maybe he knew that Johansson was going to be flagged for offside.
Kekanovic pass intercepted by Moreno, who goes back to Sirois. Both Moreno and Norris not afraid to just play it back to the goalkeeper tonight. Seen plenty of touches with the ball at his feet. Ramiro now putting it over the top. Kekanovic easily brings it down off the chest. Harks receives it from the center backs, plays Vieira. Vieira out to Jasinski. Down the line for Ricketts, looking to turn past Johansson. Goes down, and referee not buying it. It'll be a throw for Dallas, taken quickly into Ramiro. Patrickson couldn't find a teammate that time, but he wins it back quickly. Again, that counter press effective in this first 30 minutes. Patrickson on the turn in the right half space. Kaique now in the middle, slips it in behind for the run of Petter Musa. Into the 18 on the far side, holding off Mooney. Now 2 defenders around him. Musa looking for somewhere to go, turns and plays a cross that maybe got it deflected and ended up getting picked up by Daniel in goal.
Nice ball down the right center channel from Kaique to put Musa into the final third. Again, I think Kaique's been pretty lively tonight.
You can help send FC Dallas players to the MLS All-Star Game in Charlotte on July 29th. Voting is open through this Thursday at mlssoccer.com/vote. Help us make sure the Moose takes his place amongst the stars of Major League Soccer. Ricketts ball into the middle for LaRue. A lot of space here for Bo LaRue. And now even more space for Jasinski out on the far side. Corner of the 18. Whipped in off his favored right foot. And Norris with a nice deflection back to Sirois in goal. I think it was intentional.
You think?
I think it was.
Okay.
Maybe we'll need a replay to tell for sure. Now Johansson into the feet of Moose on the halfway line. Look to return it to him for the 1-2. It's intercepted. Hand of apology for Musa.
That sequence a minute ago was started when Buddha sort of beat Urguide in a physical battle, and you just don't see that very often.
And some interesting moments where, as disciplined as Dallas have been defensively at their best this season, there's just pockets of space that appear, and that's San Jose manipulating the space well and also just keeping it simple, as we've said a few times. And they're not keeping it simple here, juggling it around the back line, eventually settled by Daniel.
Well, I think one thing happening is Asante Moreno is playing a different position, so that sort of hurts you defensively. Delgado is his pressing angles aren't as sharp as some of the others.
Ramiro driving forward into the left center channel, now plays it wide for Norris. Left-footed cross, plenty of air underneath this one, and Daniel will make the claim on the edge of the 6. Both goalkeepers wasting no time in getting the ball back in play and going the other way. And it's out now to Ricketts, who will go 1v1 against Johansson on the far side into the attacking third. Ricketts forced back here. Plays Jasinski.
Good job there by Johansson, just playing the angles, playing the delay, allowing Kaique to get over there to be the second man and forcing San Jose negative.
Kikanovic down the line, and it's whipped in by Buda. Sirois with a two-handed punch out to this near side, and it'll be sent clear by Norris. Musa trying to control it in the middle. Second ball breaks towards Moreno, who loses the 50-50 there against Vieira. And it's wide again with Buda. Matched up here with Norris, entering the 18 on the corner on the near side. Back to his right foot, now digs out a cross. Heads go up, Urguide got a piece, and Kaique hooks it clear. Valiente nearly hopped the passing lane, but now there's space for the Quakes. Corner of the 18 on the far side. Jasinski on the dribble still. Kaique blocking it out for a San Jose throw. At full stretch there, the Pitbull launching himself in to block that cross.
I feel like over the last 15, now maybe almost 20 minutes, Buda's really causing Norris trouble over there.
There's a nice dribble run on the far side, and the low cross bounces all the way through the 6-yard box without a touch. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, Ricketts causing trouble a little bit on the left side, but Kaique's just a little bit better over there at providing the help. So he hasn't been quite as dangerous as Buda on the right in those crosses.
Sirois will send the team up the field here. Goals from Patrickson and Bo LaRue have us level at 1 for 10 minutes from the break.
And like I said, it's pretty eventful. Dallas with 8 shots so far, 3 on target. Out shooting the home team 8-5.
Goal kick just about clears halfway up into the air. Still a little bit of head tennis back and forth. Sent long by Ricketts. Comfortable for Nolan Norris to receive it and play it back for Sirois. Shaq Moore on the edge of his own 18. Back to Sirois. Sirois, long down the middle of the field. Flicked along by Patrickson towards Musa. Tried to return it to him with a header. Eventually, Patrickson tracks down the loose ball. Uriguide now plays Norris. And Norris sends it long, looking for the run of Musa. Musa gets positioning and nods it down for Moreno. Moreno, middle of the field, back for Kaique. Now fires it ahead, out wide right for Valiente. Johansson goes on the overlap. It's Valiente, corner of the 18, onto his left foot. Spots Patrickson, arriving at the top of the box. Set back for Moreno, around the penalty spot, juggling it around, and eventually San Jose work it clear. Dallas quickly back onto it. Ramiro lifts it over the top, looking for the run of Valiente. Inside the area, Valiente, shot at the near post. Repelled by Daniel, now hooked back in, allowed to bounce. And nobody there for Dallas, but Johansson quickly back onto it. Kaique now in the middle, and somewhere in there the whistle sound.
I mean, in terms of combining out in front of the penalty area, this is the best Dallas has been easily all year, I feel like. Valiente, Ramiro, Kaique, Herman Johansson, Petr Musa, all making good choices in there, but making good, quick, aggressive choices.
Valiente looking for his first goal for Dallas, had a chance there. Wasn't much room left by Daniel to shoot at.
Yeah, he was sort of put in along the left side, and you're right, by the time he was able to sort of spin and get his bearings, he was in really close, not at that good angle, and Daniel just had to be in the right spot at the near post and knock that one away.
Long ball towards Buda, header won by Norris. Bouncing ball in the middle, breaks kindly for Patrickson. And now Moreno driving into the San Jose half on the dribble, left center channel. Kaique wide. Quick hesitation, now he drives forward from outside to in. And his pass hits the referee. And that'll mean we'll restart with an uncontested drop ball.
I tell you what, I'm asking Patrickson to find more ways to impact the game. And I think he's done that tonight by finding a bunch of loose balls in the middle. He's sweeping up a bunch of them tonight.
Valiente ahead to Patrickson. 50-50, holds off his defender, plays back for Ramiro. Time for the Dallas captain. 10 yards into the San Jose half, finds Valiente. I feel like it's the most we've seen from Joaquin Valiente in terms of being involved as well tonight. Moreno plays back for Norris, back into the Dallas half. Kaique going for the 1-2, and Norris got the last touch. Kikanovic knocks it off him, out for a throw.
Nearly knocked Bruce Arena into the stands as he went running in near the San Jose bench.
Not quite as spry now at 74 years of age. Bruce Arena, the National Soccer Hall of Fame member.
I don't remember when Bruce Arena ever being spry.
I think he might have shown some more athleticism 30 or 40 years ago than he did there. It's going to be a Dallas goal kick as San Jose worked it up the near side and ran out of room. Yeah, for Bruce Arena to be a member of the Hall of Fame already, but also to be a member of the Hall of Fame for over 15 years and still at the top of his game, clearly, with what he's been able to do, turning things around in San Jose.
And if you look at his record, he's sort of got a trend of doing this in his second year someplace.
Patrickson winning it back in the middle of the field, finds Kaique. Great ball in behind from Moreno. Moreno left center channel, cuts back onto his right foot. Quake's getting back in numbers defensively. Back heel towards Musa is cleared away. Moreno gets a piece of it. Loose ball finds Ramiro. Patrickson out to Valiente off the right wing. Back for Ramiro. Moreno stayed down here. Dallas play on. Valiente, middle of the field, looking for options. Spots the run of Johansson, wide on the right, receives it, enters the area. Touch line, looking for Musa. Low cross cut out. And Dallas still defending or attacking a man light as Moreno maybe in some serious trouble here.
Oh, what a great ball a minute ago from Kaique to put Moreno in. He just didn't quite have the speed to pull away.
At some point in there, the offside flag went up. Not sure if it was on that pass or not.
I think the ball went over the end line before Johansson hit the cross, I think.
Moreno up on his feet before the training staff came on, which means he'll stay out there. They're still clearly shaken up after that contact. Dallas feels like this is a half where they should be in front, but got a little bit loose in the back and one opportunity punished by Bo LaRue. And now they've got 5 minutes to maybe try and find that goal and take a lead into halftime. Kikanovic making his way forward up this near side for San Jose. Fires in the low cross, top of the box, Harks. Harks looking to cut back to his right foot, goes down, and the referee points to the spot. And the Dallas players immediately around him in protest, and we don't have the best view, but I don't think there was much contact, and we're going to get another look at it. It felt like Harks knew what he was trying to do there, and whether there's contact or not, he was going to go down. Ramiro saying no chance.
Yeah, they'll definitely take a look at it as they do, but you know, this is the thing with San Jose. You know, they get the ball to the right, they put the cross in, and you ask the question. So the ball comes into Harks.
Oh, this is a dive. That's Urguide who's making the challenge.
Oh, I think you're right. I don't see a.
There is maybe a little bit of contact as Harks is already in the process of falling. And it's a bad call, and it would be a worse call if they don't at least allow Chris Pinto to go and take another look at it.
No, you know, we say that, but I know what you mean, but we also have to remember that they don't really want to referee the game. You know, there has to, in the VAR booth, Kevin Stott has to see that there's a clear and obvious error.
Looks like the referee has told Sirois to go and get in goal. He's going to go search for a towel and a water bottle instead. It's going to be Bo LaRue to step up and take a very much undeserved, uncontested shot from 12 yards. But a chance for Jonathan Sirois in his first start for the club to set things right here.
On that last replay, I saw a little bit of contact, not from Osaze or Urguide, but from Ramiro, maybe.
It's LaRue against the Canadian in goal for Dallas. Sirois looking for his first moment for his new club. LaRue shuffles over to his left now on the approach, and it's saved by Sirois. And he picks up the rebound, and order is restored. Ball does not lie. Jonathan Sirois, welcome to Dallas. What a moment.
It's a good save, too, because it was a pretty well-hit penalty kick. We'll take another look in a second, but big right hand down as Sirois dove to his right. Great moment from Sirois.
He sort of gives the mean mug face a little nod, saying, this is what I do.
And he was up quick to grab the rebound. As I look at it again, it's not the best hit penalty kick, but it's still a good save. And
I think it was hit with the conviction in which the penalty that was awarded deserved, in my opinion.
Fair.
But what a moment for Sirois, not to take away from that and what that might give the team going forward in pursuit of a result tonight. San Jose now in possession in the center circle. Dallas sitting off, having nearly conceded, maybe content to take the 1-1 into the break if they can. Buda with other ideas up the near side, trying to keep it in play. Norris slips at a bad time, and the low cross is repelled at the near post. Preston Judd demanding the cutback, frustrated that the service didn't come. It'd be a corner for San Jose in any case.
I do think Dallas is going to have to solve this at halftime. You know, Nolan Norris just having a tough time over there. They just have to give him a little bit more help, a little quicker.
San Jose sets up with 5 guys in a line around the penalty spot. Buda will take outswinger from the near side. Lifted in. Dallas got a piece of it at the near post. Shot through traffic from Vieira. Easily over the bar.
I think Vieira's been a really good addition for them. When they're healthy, as I said, you know, it's a pretty good double pivot in there between Bo LaRue and Ronaldo Vieira. I think it's been one of the keys to that great start that San Jose had, record-setting start.
Ronaldo Vieira, one of 2 players in the starting 11 tonight, and indeed in the entire squad for San Jose that did not play an NCAA game. He had a much different journey. Born in England, representing Guinea-Bissau internationally.
Yeah, played a bunch of games for Leeds in the championship, and then had a good run in the Italian Serie A.
Here's Buda again, off the near side, step overs to get to his right foot. Norris defending. Entering in the 18. Low cross now sent in. That one rising up for a header for Shaq Moore. Back out to Buda again. Final seconds of the 45. And Buda runs out of room. Wanted a foul, not given. It'll be a goal kick instead. Three minutes added on. With a couple of goals and the penalty. Feels about right.
Possession really just about even, 50-50 here. Dallas still out shooting San Jose 8-7.
Absolute flurry of chances to start this game. Could have been more than the one goal they got inside 60 seconds. Musa with two golden opportunities he couldn't take. Before San Jose found the equalizer through Bo LaRue. They'll have a throw in their own half here with Kikanovic now. Kikanovic launches it long. LaRue flicking it on. Buda again making the run in behind Nolan Norris, who goes to ground, gets a piece of the ball. Enough to get it back to Shaq Moore. He plays it out to Norris from left back. In the middle, Ramiro.
Norris got it right, but sliding tackle right outside the 18 there. He's got to be careful.
And Kaike fouled on the edge of the Dallas box. Both he and Ricketts, who had come across to this near side, slow to get up and tangled up on the ground as well. He's got to make sure to get up in time here. As, Ricketts just sort of clumsily into his back. May have been a stray arm or leg in the melee that followed. He gave with a little bit of blood in the nose. Up and moving now. Sent long, contested in the middle. Johansson heads it back to the halfway line where it's picked off by Harks. Lifted out to the far side, Ricketts. Contested there by Johansson. Ricketts goes down. And Shaq Moore comes away with the ball. Patrickson out to Valiente. Plays back for Patrickson. And all the way back for Ramiro. Dropping the deepest of anyone in the Dallas Hoops tonight on the edge of his own box. Now he sends it long. Up towards Musa. Contesting with Mooney. And Musa whistled for a foul. Final seconds of the 3 minutes added on. There's a lot to talk about in this first half for a 1-1 game. Could have been more on either side. And some up and down performances, I think, in the 11 in both groups as well.
Yeah, the game's pretty wide open. It's played at a good pace. It's been fun to watch.
Final action probably of this first half. From just inside the San Jose half. It's rolled in along the ground. And that runs out of play, and that should do it for us here in the first half. So the 3 minutes added on have been played, and we take a 1-1 scoreline into the halftime interval. Goals from Patrickson, Delgado, and Bo LaRue. A big penalty save from Jonathan Sirois. Plenty to break down here on the halftime show. Thank you for joining us and staying up late with us tonight as Dallas and San Jose are level heading into the break. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
You push your body hard in the name of fitness. Sure, it's for a good cause. But a good cause shouldn't mean sacrificing a good time. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Beer summer. Right here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine starts here.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
After 45 plus at PayPal Park, it's FC Dallas 1 and the San Jose Earthquakes 1. Hello, everybody. It is the FC Dallas halftime show brought to you tonight by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Also brought to you by Advocare, building champions together. I'm your host, Sam Hale. I'll be joined in just a moment by the voices of tonight's contest, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. But first, let's go ahead and get to your highlights. And they started in the very first minute when Patrickson Delgado got on the scoreboard.
Oh, here's a giveaway, and it's Santi Moreno now. Slip ball in behind from Musa. Well cut out by Kekanovic. Second effort, and Dallas grabbed the early lead within 60 seconds. It's Patrickson Delgado as the Quakes make a mess of it at the back, and it's the Ecuadorian back in the team to take advantage.
Second goal of the season for Delgado. That made it 1-0 Dallas in the very first minute. But that wouldn't hold as 17 minutes later, Bo LaRue hit a screamer past Jonathan Sirois. That made it 1-1 in the 18th minute. But then in the 43rd minute, Ian Harks goes down at the top of the box with some dubious contact from either Osaze Uriguide and or Ramiro, and that led to Bo LaRue stepping up to the penalty spot. But this time, it was Dallas's new goalkeeper saying no.
It's LaRue against the Canadian in goal for Dallas. Sirois looking for his first moment for his new club. LaRue shuffles over to his left now on the approach, and it's saved by Sirois. And he picks up the rebound, and order is restored. Ball does not lie. Jonathan Sirois, welcome to Dallas. What a moment.
Huge penalty save from Sirois there. Kept the score at 1-1 as we head to the halftime break. Now to get you your halftime stats, those are brought to you by UMB Bank. Possession is evenly split between the two teams at 50 apiece. Dallas has the shot advantage 8-7, although each team has 3 of those shots on target so far this evening. 2 saves apiece from Jonathan Sirois and Daniel. You've also had 5 fouls for the Quakes, 8 fouls for FCD, but no cards of any color handed out just yet by either side. Now let's bring in our commentary team for this one, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. And, you know, Steve, I remember in the middle of pregame we said, hey, this would be a very good day for Patrickson to have himself a memorable game. And while there's still more than half to go, scoring in the first minute is a pretty impressive feat for the young Ecuadorian.
Yeah, he took the chance really well, and I think that really gave him some confidence. I mentioned that, you know, he was sweeping up a lot of balls, recovering a lot of balls. His Dallas counter press worked really well. The other thing is Dallas, because of Delgado, because I think Valiente is being very aggressive, Moreno is being aggressive. They've been inside the 18 a lot. I was just looking at some numbers here. Let's see, for Patrickson Delgado, 7 touches inside the 18. Musa, 5 touches inside the 18. Valiente has 4 touches inside the 18. Moreno, 5 touches inside the 18. They've gotten in behind and in and around the 18, in behind the back line, that is, in and around the 18 a lot. As for goalkeeper Daniel to make some saves. The one thing they're missing is as they arrive into what we call those Man City zones, left and right center channels, the crossing hasn't been as good as what we see from San Jose, and that's one of the reasons they weren't able to take advantage of those shaky 15 minutes by San Jose and get a second goal.
And I do have the numbers on the goal scoring quickness, but I'm going to tease those for the post-game show because I want to make sure that.
Oh, don't do that.
No, we needed both.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't do that.
Yeah, okay. 55 seconds is when the goal officially crossed in. I went back and watched the replay. That is not the fastest goal in FC Dallas history per FC Dallas PR. That belongs to Fabian Castillo. He scored 29 seconds into a game.
It's going to be tough to beat.
That was a 3-2 game against Toronto in Frisco in 2015. in a game that I'm pretty sure Ryan figured was
I was there. Yeah, actually, I'm very much so remembering this moment because that game finished about 6 hours later after a 3 to 4 hour rain delay.
Yeah, that was the Sebastian Giovinco hat brace at the end to almost claw back.
I do remember that one
for Toronto. But yeah, that's a big moment there. You know, Ryan, a big moment for Jonathan Sirois. We were asking in pregame, hey, what to expect from the young keeper? You know, he's just about the same age as Collodi. Well, the Bo LaRue screamer is only so much he could do about that because that's just kind of a chaos moment in the box there. But when LaRue steps up for the PK save, admittedly, wasn't the best PK in the world, but he kept it out, and that kept the score level.
Yeah, I think you might have let him off easy on the first goal, to be honest. I think, you know, you can also say he doesn't have the chemistry and the experience of playing with these guys, and he doesn't necessarily have the confidence in what they're going to do and knowing what they're going to do, but he doesn't need to come for the cross, and Urquide always has that situation under control. You know, even if he's in position, he might still get beat by the shot because it is a great shot, but he certainly would give himself a lot better chance to save it if he hadn't come out and tried to go for that first cross. But I think we can certainly forgive him as he comes up with the penalty save. And, yeah, really big moment for him. And, you know, he was looking forward to this, his first start for the new club, and taking that moment with both hands and keeping Dallas level in this game and giving him a chance to go in and potentially win it in the second half. So I think, you know, no matter where this game goes from here, that's one you can't lose in the wash. That's a big moment for Sirois.
You're probably right that he doesn't need to come for that cross. On the other hand, I would like to know when he gave, if he gave, Urquide a shout because, you know, Urquide is just going to head the ball out, but there wasn't really a San Jose player in the area. So if he gives a shout early enough and then comes for the ball and puts it in his hands, then Dallas has possession. So maybe he gave a shout a little late. Either way, he was way out of position. But as we say, two things can be true. He was out of position and still LaRue on the full volley as he just catches Urquide's clearance really clean. And, Sirois is a little bit out of position, but it's a heck of a volley.
I'm just going to say that Preston Judd needs to be stepping on penalty duty for San Jose going forward. If you got 9 goals on the season, you got to be taking that moment. And, you know, he's in the Golden Boot race, first of all, and so individually that's big for him. But he's a goal scorer. I'm just surprised to see he wasn't the one to step up for the penalty.
I was very stunned to see that it wasn't him, considering he is the leading scorer. And we know that we just saw on Wednesday when that happens here in Dallas, it's Petar Musa that gets the spot. And, you know, he and Santi Moreno getting the start tonight. Before we look at a little bit at the second half, Steve, I think even though neither has a goal just yet in this one, especially they were contributing on the Patrickson goal, and Moreno more specifically has been very dangerous in that final 18.
Yeah, and it's weird because we thought Patrickson Delgado would be playing the left side on the 4-4-2. Santi Moreno would be playing underneath Petar Musa. It's worked the other way around. It's Santi Moreno playing on the left side in the midfield, and then Delgado has a little bit more of the free role. He's even interchanged a little bit with Valiente. But it's worked okay because they've had, you know, they've asked questions of the San Jose back line. They've generated chances to have 8 shots in the first half on the road. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's more 4-2-3-1 than we've seen at any point this season for sure. And you're getting, you know, Valiente, who you think of as one of your 10s, and Moreno, who you think of as one of your 10s in the team. But really, with Patrickson playing as a true number 10, it's 3 number 10s underneath Musa. And, you know, there's going to be, you know, positives and negatives of that. But the positives have been, you know, the ups have been really high because the combinations, the 1-2s that they've been able to create around the box and into the box have been some of the best attacking play that we've seen from Dallas all season long. And they just have more ideas, and they have the technical ability to execute on it more often than not. So it's been interesting. It's been a different Dallas team than we've seen going forward for most of the season. It's been, you know, 2 number 9s. It's been banging bodies. It's been service into the box. And not to say there hasn't been plenty of quality between Musa and Farrington, but this is a very different attacking approach so far tonight.
Yeah, and you also have to say Herman Johansson playing as a right back. He's been in the offensive end and in the attacking third quite a bit tonight too.
Quickly before we end the halftime show here, Ryan, I'll start with you, then we'll go down the line. One quick change that you would make in the second half, be it positionally, personnel, or tactical-wise?
I think for as solid of a performance as this was overall from the team, Ramiro is struggling out there, and so is Nolan Norris. And I think you can fix both of those problems with one change. Bring Kappas in alongside Kayik. He can just cover more ground, get out there and help Nolan. And, you know, honestly, his associative combination play is better than Ramiro. So what we've already seen in front of him from those attacking midfielders, he might be able to add to that as well.
Steve Davis?
Yeah, I would agree. That I think that's a really good shot. I just think they need to give Nolan Norris a little bit of help over there. Santi Marino, he's not really a defender. He doesn't really have defensive instincts as a midfielder. So they're asking a lot of Nolan Norris over there, sort of on an island, and he's having some trouble with Buda.
Well, we will see what Mark Briggs and company do at the halftime whistle. That's going to do it here for the halftime show. We'll take a break. When we come back, Ryan and Steve will get you ready for the second half. It's FC Dallas 1, San Jose 1 at PayPal Park. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
God, I'm saying wow.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible together.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
After 45 minutes, 1-1 your score between FC Dallas and the San Jose Earthquakes at PayPal Park tonight. Dallas, for a second straight game, taking on one of the top teams in the West, going toe-to-toe, but looking to do one better and get a result in these final 45 minutes, whether it's a draw or whether they go on to win, Steve. We can really look back to that moment where Sirois saved the penalty, kept things in the balance, and give them a chance now going to the second half to do more.
Yeah, we'll see how big a moment that turns into, but that's what we always say. You ask your goalkeeper to make the routine plays, make one big save, and he certainly made a big one there.
It was a big call to leave Michael Colodi out of the side, and credit to Mark Briggs tonight, the coach on the Dallas touchline, alongside, of course, Eric Quill, I'm sure was really behind it, and Drew Keyshawn, the goalkeeper coach, for giving Sirois the opportunity, stepped in and made the big save, and that's been the opportunity taken for the Canadian goalkeeper. Patrickson also taking an opportunity in the first half, getting back in the team and getting his second goal of the season, both of them coming away from home, as the Quakes are honoring Chris Wondolowski tonight, who was inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago in Frisco. One of the all-time legends, the all-time top scorer in Major League Soccer. Plenty of those coming against Dallas.
One of my favorite Wondolowski stories was after he scored a goal, I think against Chelsea in an all-star game. A little bit later that night, I'm just having a beer at the hotel bar, and so was he, just over there by himself after he was a star of the game. And I just walked over and had a nice conversation with Wando. Nice guy.
Well, he'll watch on along with the rest of us as we're about to get things going for this second half. Preston Judd at the halfway line, drops it off to get things back going. As the points hang in the balance at PayPal Park after 45 minutes, there's a loose pass on the San Jose side, picked off by Musa in the San Jose half. Patterson keeps it moving. Kaike in the center circle. Back for Uragide. Interesting. Looks like a change in the alignment defensively for Dallas. We'll get to that in a moment. It's Nolan Norris now playing center back, stepping in to win it back in the middle. Kaike center circle, back heel towards Delgado. Now wide to Shockmore playing left back. in response to some of those threatening moments from Osini Buda. Dallas getting probably their best 1v1 defender out wide to try and deal with him. There's a giveaway on that far side, and Buda onto the ball, driving forward. Norris defending Preston Judd, holding him off, back out wide on the far side. Kukanovic turns, plays it back for Daniel Mooney.
Yeah, it's not exactly a straight swap because now Sazi Urugide goes over, plays right center back.
Down the line, up this near side. Jasinski turns, plays it back. Ricketts now trying to bend it off the left foot, and that one's comfortable. Had a lot of bend on it, to be fair. It looked like it was headed out for a goal kick, but Sirwa will come out to claim.
Urugide sort of shouldering over Preston Judd there.
No personnel changes, just that one tactical change that we can see to start the second half. Moreno seeing 3 defenders on the far side, trying to find a way forward on the dribble. Instead turns and plays it back to Sirwa. Sirwa, calm there, plays Urugide on the top of the Dallas box. Now forward for Valiente. Central position here for the Uruguayan. Forward to Delgado. Lifted out to this near side. Johansson sets it down for Kaique. A lot of space for the Brazilian. And then he's fouled by a retreating Daniel Mooney. Would love to see a card come out there for some high contact, but also for stopping the attack. Mooney immediately flees the scene of the crime.
Yeah, Dallas players really quick to ask for the yellow card there.
Kaique staying down. Oh, he got caught full contact, chest to chest, and maybe a little bit up high as well. It's most lenient, you would say, maybe just clumsy for Mooney, but I felt like a little bit cynical as well. As Dallas had opened up some space driving into the San Jose end.
Yeah, it wasn't the best touch for Kaique, and he sort of had to try to move back and sort of scramble to recover the ball. He did get the yellow card after all.
First player booked, Daniel Mooney, and you can see it written on his face. Not too happy about the decision.
I think he's been really good this year for San Jose.
Free kick 10 yards into the San Jose half. Dallas getting players forward, trying to attack it. And they go short. Valiente brings it forward on the dribble. Out to Moreno, a little bit loose for the first touch. Tracks it down, sends it into the area. Ramiro nods it back across. Kaique sets it down. Patrickson left-footed shot, blocked by Vieira. And LaRue then loses out to Kaique in the subsequent scramble. Urugide out wide on the far side from Moreno. Moreno back to Ramiro. Base of the Dallas midfield, fired forward to the feet of Musa. Musa did just enough to get it back to Ramiro, who then pokes it wide for Johansson. Johansson whips the right foot through it towards Musa. Great first touch, sets himself up. Petter Musa restores the lead.
Well, how about that? They just did to San Jose what San Jose has been doing to them. A ball gets pushed out to the right side. Herman Johansson, he gets his head up immediately. And as soon as he gets his head up, Petter Musa knows what he wants. The cross comes into the near post. Petter Musa takes a touch. The ball kind of hops up on him, but hops up in a nice way, so he's able to hit a big full volley right past Daniel from near range. 2
goals for Musa at PayPal Park last year. Back on the score sheet tonight for goal number 12 of the campaign. And it was 2 of Dallas's World Cup hopefuls combining for the goal. Johansson with the cross. He'll get the assist. Musa with a great first touch and great focus as the ball popped up high in the air to eventually strike that one low and past Daniel, who got a piece of it, but not enough to keep the Moose off the score sheet tonight.
And maybe you picked up on this. I believe it was Ramiro who sort of hustled in and picked up a loose ball and pushed it out quickly to Herman Johansson on the right side. And I think Dallas has done that a lot tonight, just sweeping up the loose balls in the middle.
Another really strong start to the second half. We saw it on Wednesday when Farrington came out and scored within 5 minutes. Both halves, Dallas have scored within 5 minutes now. Coming into the night, the Quakes had done so in 5 straight games. Johansson turns inside, finds Kaike. Trying to play forward with a left-footed pass intercepted, looking for Musa. Now he's across to come and win the ball back. Just incredible speed, covering ground there for the Pitbull. That's why he's got that nickname. Combative and energetic.
I think he's having a great match.
Sirois stands on the ball inside the Dallas box, waiting for the pressure to come. And the ball launched forward to the halfway line has left Musa down. And he's in some discomfort here. Didn't get a chance to see the initial contact, but obviously this has more implications than just the Dallas season for Petr Musa. He's now being checked out by the training staff. Get a look at it now.
Well, he got it on the noggin from Reed Roberts, and I'm not saying it's good, but when I saw him laying on the ground with his head in his hands, you know, my first thought was, did he do something with his knee or his ankle as he came down? But so I have to say I'm almost happy that it's it's not his knee or anything like that. I think he'll end up being okay.
There'll be a decision to make if he clears concussion protocol, whether to maybe take him out of the game, bring Farrington in. It's a decent replacement to have available, but having just scored to regain the lead, you want Musa to continue if he can. He's now back to his feet, walking off the field. He'll have to undergo the complete check.
And don't forget, it was his 12th goal this year. You know, he's chasing that FC Dallas single season record that everybody gets stuck on 18. So he's ahead of the pace, well ahead of the pace.
He's also chasing Hugo Kuiper's 13 goals on the season, having played earlier today. And Messi is right there amongst them, and he'll play tomorrow. Musa looks like he'll be okay to come back into this game when he's waved on. It's Johansson to take the throw. Ball breaks from Moreno, chipped out to this near side for Valiente. Valiente gets in behind, now cuts back to his left foot. Ball towards the back post, and that one's headed behind for a corner as Shaq Moore was loading there to potentially fire a volley towards goal.
Yeah, I think it was Kekanovic that had to be big and bright back there, and he had to get that one right because it was a good pick out from Valiente at the back post.
It was like there's blood in the water, like there was after Dallas scored in the first half to potentially double the lead. They've got a corner kick, a chance to do so here.
I feel like Valiente's had a good night as well.
Moreno whips it in. Oh, almost an Olympico there from the Colombian. Trying to catch Daniel out, I think, because nobody really made the run to the back post.
Daniel was scrambling a little bit. And Ryan, I said in the keys to the match that you just hope that everybody sort of found the next level tonight, which I don't think they did against Vancouver. I thought everybody was okay, but they didn't find the next level. I feel like several of these FC Dallas players have done that tonight.
If they can go in and find the next level, maybe a 3-1 lead would see them to 3 points. As it stands, it's 2-1 Dallas. Buda looking to make inroads up the far side. Norris comes across, whistled for a foul in the wide area on the far side.
Yeah, I think Norris had, as he came out of the middle now, you know, he's playing left center back. As he came out of the middle, I think he had Buda contained. He didn't really need to go tackle there.
Well, it's easy to say because we've seen Shaq Moore do it with such ease. Playing different positions in the back line within the same game, not always easy to make those mental adjustments.
No, that's fair.
As a left back, he would be coming across and closing down hard there, but maybe not now that he's shifted into the middle. It's going to be a free kick for Buda to take. 5 yards outside the penalty area on the far side. Dallas sets the line right on top of the 6-yard box. Here comes the service. Whipped in to the top of the 6, headed away by Uragide. Helped a little bit further clear by Moreno. And LaRue gets himself into some trouble, runs into Musa, deflects off LaRue and bounces back for Sirois and net. Now he's trying to go long out in front of Musa, who's not going to be able to track that one down. It runs out for a throw deep in the San Jose half.
I mean, what's made the game kind of fun to watch is that both teams are interested in doing just what Sirois tried to do there, which is just get going up the field quickly, get vertical.
Kikanovic takes the throw down the line towards Buda. Ball bounces straight up in the air. Parks trying to settle it, and the whistle goes for a Dallas throw. Shaq Moore now playing left back will come over to take. Here's Moreno. Darting dribble off the far side into the middle. Finds Valiente, puts that in front of Kaique, lost his footing there as he approached the top of the 18. Now he sprints to try and win the ball back. Ricketts on the near side goes down, and foul goes against Kaique.
Another one of those good combinations that we've seen quite a few of tonight is Kaique, there was the third man running. They just couldn't quite pull off the pass into him as he ran up that center channel.
Kikanovic cross in towards Judd, header on target, but always a difficult one to score from as he was going away from goal about 12 yards away, and Sirwan makes a save.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it just goes straight up the field, cross, Judd, shot. It's been a fun game.
Norris on the ball for Dallas, deep in their own half, up the far side, sends it long, looking for the run of Musa, over the head of both he and Roberts, bounces through for Daniel. Interesting to see where the coaches on either side go next. Obviously, Bruce Arena needing to go and chase the game a little bit more, but for Dallas, the best potential subs into this game are attacking players. You disrupt the chemistry that's developed at this front four. Of course, it is also the third game in 8 days. Here's a low cross in towards Judd, and it's dealt with there by Uragide, behind for a corner. And another moment of miscommunication between Sirwan and Uragide. Didn't lead to any trouble that time, but that time I felt like Sirwan maybe should have given him the shout. Maybe he did, and he could have covered that up, and instead they concede the corner.
Yeah, but I do think Uragide did the right thing there because I'm just not sure Sirwan was going to get to that, and Preston Judd was probably going to.
Corner kick from the far side. Again, preferring the outswinger for Buda. Whipped into the top of the 6, header over the bar. Looked like that was Kikanovic with the attempt.
I mean, doesn't Preston Judd just show you how much you can do as a striker if you're just active and just occupying those center backs in there, because he is moving a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen players all across the league scoring goals with those hard near post runs. I think young Julian Hall is one of the best in the entire league at doing so, and Preston Judd certainly in that conversation. Brian White, all very similar traditional box finishing number 9s.
I don't feel like Brian White necessarily had a great match the other day. I thought he was pretty well contained, but Preston Judd is he's just a handful in there.
Ricketts stumbling, but not nearly enough for a foul. It runs out for a throw for Dallas. Judd also has what those other two don't, and that's raw size as well, 6'3". The ball into the feet of Musa from the throw. Flicked over towards Kaique, but he loses out to Vieira. Vieira's pass, though, off the mark. Intercepted by Shaq Moore, who puts it out in front of Patrickson. Foot race to the ball on the far side. Daniel Mooney wins it. He's actually clocked as one of the fastest players in Major League Soccer this season. And a loose touch there at the top of the San Jose box from Jasinski. Nearly turned it over to Valiente. Continue in possession. Parks, ball forward to Buda on the halfway line. Out to Kikanovic on the far side. Kikanovic wide for Buda. From the creative outlet tonight. Buda looking to get the cross in, and it's blocked by Shaq. Out for a throw near the corner flag.
As we get into after the hour mark, start talking about guys like Kaique and Ramiro that played a lot of soccer over the last week.
And the throw, trying to control it up the touchline, was Preston Judd, but Bo LaRue. It runs out for a goal kick. Interesting with Buda because he's been so effective tonight, and maybe slowed down a little bit by Shaq in the second half, but he's kind of just got one trick in his bag, and it's always going to his right foot, always down the line. Obviously, you can't teach speed, and he's got a whole bunch of that, but I haven't seen him cut back to his left foot once tonight.
No, he somehow makes it work for him, though, doesn't he? If he can find the right angle as you try to get around the corner and get that cross in. That helps a lot. So it's not just speed, but also sort of understanding how to make a little space so you can get a cross in.
Reed Roberts under pressure from Musa, deep in San Jose territory, sends it long. Header flicked up in the air, and then Ramiro, I think, was just late to that and got a piece of Ricketts on the follow-through. He picks up a yellow card.
I think it was a big whiff, and he got a big piece of Ricketts.
That might make that aforementioned substitution decision a little bit easier. Ramiro picking up the yellow card.
Well, on the replay, I'm not sure how much contact there was there. Maybe some.
I think Ricketts certainly saw the wind-up.
Yeah.
That was coming.
Yeah.
San Jose restart play. Dallas lines up, pressing all the way back towards Daniel. Daniel back out to Mooney on the far side. Patrickson putting him under pressure. Turns and plays it back to his goalkeeper. Lifting it out to this near side over the head of Musa, but now Jasinski under pressure from Petar Musa, who lost out in that battle. Went out for a throw taken quickly. San Jose out to the far side. Kikanovic driving from outside to in. Slipped ball into the feet of Preston Judd. Couldn't keep hold of it. Now though back onto it, wide on the far side. Whips across in. Last touched by Norris behind for a corner.
Ryan, you said as Dallas maybe starts thinking about trying to protect this lead, you said that a lot of the subs are attack-minded, but you do have Ibiaga over there, and you could do some things in terms of reshaping a little bit, push, put Ibiaga in, push, maybe Shaq Moore back over to the right side, push Herman Johansson up, something like that.
Go back to the 5,
yep.
Certainly. Corner kick from Buda from the far side. Headed at the near post by Norris. Top of the box. Falls for Ricketts. Shot through traffic. Hit a couple of different players. And Patrickson couldn't be sure who had hit last, so he puts it out for a throw instead.
I certainly wasn't sure who had hit.
I just hope it didn't hit an arm.
Bit of a pinball effect in there. I thought it hit 2 or 3 people.
Kikanovic will take the throw into Harks, trying to get to the byline on the far side. Good work between Norris and Ramiro to come away with possession. Moreno on the dribble. Didn't find a good outlet forward. There was really nobody forward. And it's quickly turned over, and Norris forced to concede. It will be another corner in quick succession.
Yeah, Dallas almost falling asleep there as couldn't tell who it was that slipped in behind the Dallas back line. Of course, on the quick throw-in, it was LaRue that, it was Ian Harks back there that recognized he wasn't going to be offside, and Dallas had to scramble a little bit.
This ball whipped in to the top of the 6, header on target, and that one a little too easy for Reed Roberts, but Sirois makes the save. Header was pretty much right at him.
I think a couple of defenders got screened there. Sirois lucky that one went right at him.
Musa, for some reason, at right back as they're trying to build up here. Need to fix the formation. And now headed back up to the top of the formation as we're going to get our first change in just a moment for Dallas. Daniel puts it out for a throw, and Logan Farrington, I think, might just be coming in for Petar Musa here. And it will be Petar Musa who departs with the go-ahead goal. His 12th of the season. Hoping to hear maybe as soon as this week. And he'll be joining up with Croatia for this summer's tournament. But his race is run tonight, and Logan Farrington, fresh off a goal on Wednesday. Chance to make an impact here with 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And first impact is committing a foul as he immediately gets tangled up with Reed Roberts there.
Petar Musa's goal tonight certainly not going to hurt his case as whatever decisions are left to be made for the Croatian national team.
Ball in behind, foot race to get to it between Ricketts and Johansson on this near side. Johansson gets back in position. Now LaRue, corner of the 18, sets it back for Vieira. Vieira top of the box, back over to LaRue from the near side. Shot blocked by Johansson, sliding over. And out for a throw.
Herman Johansson maybe having one of his better games tonight.
A lot of good performances in the 11. You just want to see it turned into 3 points and a potential statement win against one of the best teams in Major League Soccer this season. Ball breaks for Buda, corner of the 18 on the near side. Buda on the dribble, shot deflected, and that could have gone anywhere. But fortunately, it's behind for a corner.
Well, San Jose is pressing a little bit more here, and Dallas not doing a good job of getting out of the back. That time Valiente caught on the dribble as he tried to come out of the back. On that deflected shot, yeah, Dallas almost paid the price too.
Now Buda, another corner kick. He's had plenty of opportunities tonight. From the far side, whipped in again, right to the top of the 6. Really good, consistent service. This one headed away. Back out to him now. Buda with Moreno defending. Moreno loses his footing. Buda splits the 2 players, goes down, but referee waves him to his feet. Moreno comes away with it on the dribble. And maybe a chance on the break here, right on the halfway line. It's Valiente over to Patrickson on the left side. Patrickson pokes it towards Farrington. Out of his reach. He'll try and track it down on the near side. Roberts there first. And another foul called against Logan Farrington for not a whole lot.
Yeah, he got a foul. He got a yellow card the other night for persistent infringement, and needs to be a little careful here with Chris Penso.
Farrington, the only change on either side in terms of personnel so far. San Jose building in their own half. Kikanovic on the far side. Over to Reed Roberts. Bringing it towards the halfway line, out to Ricketts. Ricketts going to use his speed to try and get past Johansson. Johansson just shoulders him off and wins the throw, which he quickly takes.
I mean, I'm telling you, Johansson, I think, doing a great job tonight, getting it done defensively. He's got the assist on the Musa goal.
Norris goes long out to Moreno. Header won, though, by Kikanovic. Restores possession for San Jose.
I feel like Moreno has definitely seen his impact diminish in the second half. You wonder if that's maybe the next sub.
Moreno now scrapping to try and win it back right around the halfway line. Does come away with it. Ball in behind now. Logan Farrington in pole position to get there. Daniel Mooney not able to make the intervention. It's back for Patrickson, whose shot is saved by Daniel. A huge chance to double the lead there. Kaike still in possession. Eventually runs out of real estate on the near side.
Logan Farrington does such a good job there of holding off 2 defenders and then just sort of shoving a little ball back over for the arriving Patrickson.
And Mooney, I mentioned, one of the fastest players in Major League Soccer, made up that distance quickly, but Farrington just such good awareness and knowledge of how to use his body weight to shield it away. Dallas have a throw right in front of Bruce Arena's technical area, but I think they're going to make 2 more changes before they take it.
Yeah, Patrickson shot at about 15 yards there. Was really well saved by Daniel, you have to say.
Well, a chance for a first career multi-goal game there for Patrickson. You think he's probably going to be replaced here, as both Ron Benjamin and Christian Kappas are up off the bench. He is the first to come off for Christian Kappas. And Santi Moreno will be replaced by Benjamin. So an important moment for Patrickson. Came within a minute of kickoff tonight. Nearly got a second goal right on the stroke of being substituted, but you have to say, overall, a really solid performance from the Ecuadorian, in which he was all over the field underneath the striker.
I think both these players that are coming off right now have had good matches. I really do think there's nobody out there in the Dallas shirt that's subpar tonight. And I like these changes. I think Dallas did need some fresh legs out there.
All forward towards Farrington, flicked up in the air. Kappas challenging for it. Ball sent down towards Urguide, who intercepts. He scoops it forward again towards Kappas, flicked on, out to Valiente on this near side. Awkward clearance straight up in the air. Settled by Harks, well under pressure, who finds Vieira now. They go out the other way with Kikanovic. Benjamin in pursuit. Kekanovic eventually tracked down by Ron Benjamin, forced back all the way to Reed Roberts in the center circle.
You do lose your two best creators out there. They were just pulled off the field, Delgado and Marino, but right now Dallas just needs to hold the lead.
20 minutes plus stoppage time between the hoops and 3 points in San Jose tonight. A venue where they've had precious little success over the years. Good work there from Shaq Moore, stepping in the way and then winning a foul from Kekanovic. Both reading the game and having the speed to get there that time, Shaq. Well, I think, I'd have to go back and check, but I think he's now completed the set in terms of positions that could be played in the back four or back five for FC Dallas this season.
I think before we had said that he'd played 5 positions, so I think you're right. I think this is 6.
Wing back on both sides, now full back on both sides, center back on both sides.
Well, center back in a 3, center back in a 2 on both sides. So
just incredible versatility. Doing it all at a very high level. Scrap for the ball right around the halfway line. LaRue comes away with it out to Kekanovic as we get confirmation that San Jose have made their first change. Jasinski replaced by Fernandez. Nick Fernandez grabbed a goal against Seattle on Wednesday in defeat. Whistle goes for a free kick for San Jose halfway into the Dallas half on the far side.
I mentioned Dallas's creators just left the field. That doesn't mean Dallas doesn't need to, hold the ball a little bit and try to attack. I'd still like to see them keep pressing and maybe get that third goal. It just means they're going to do it in a little bit different way and have a little bit more patience and maybe try to hold the ball a little bit longer in the midfield as they get forward.
Buda from the far side, this one low, repelled by Benjamin from the top of the box. Lifted back out to this near side. Fernandez, first touch for him. Turns away from Farrington. Now drives from left to right. Scooped ball into the middle. Headed up in the air by Norris, but not well cleared. It's retrieved inside the area by San Jose on the far side. Set back for Buda. Buda this time does cut back to his left. Still on the ball. Lifts it into Kekanovic. Kekanovic cross. Well blocked by Nolan Norris. Full stretch on top of the 6.
Norris has done a good job in clearing balls. Cleared a couple off corner kicks. Cleared that one as, again, San Jose gets in on that right side, puts a dangerous cross in toward Preston Judd at the near post, but Norris was alert for it.
Corner kick coming from the far side. It's Johansson who's drawn the assignment of Preston Judd, and this one whipped to the top of the 6, allowed to bounce, but bounces over the head of everybody. Vieira tracks it down for San Jose. Now he scoops a right-footed ball in. Norris scooping low to send it back out his way. And Vieira hounded by Shaq Moore all the way back now to his goalkeeper. Fernandez playing in midfield. He replaced the left back. Looks like maybe Ricketts playing left back. A little bit of a reshuffle. And move it from right to left across the back line. Vieira now dropping in to try and help with the build-up. Farrington putting Mooney under pressure on the halfway line, out to Buda, back to Mooney. Dallas just able to step the lines up here as we're headed towards the final 15 minutes tonight. Vieira, diagonal ball out to the far side. Well, retrieved there, now into the area. Kappas defending from the wrong side there. Referee may have had a decision to make. Opts not to point to the spot for a second time tonight.
I don't think there was much there. There's a little bit of contact, but I think Chris Penso was up. He was right on top of it, and he very quickly said, "Get up, let's go."
And San Jose taking their time to take the throw. He says, "Let's go ahead and take it. There's nothing to check here." It was Kekanovic making a meal of not much.
Yeah, Kappas just gets a shoulder in there, but it's really. It's not even not much. It's not much. It's nothing at all, really.
Another corner kick for San Jose. Absolutely piling up.
This will be number 8.
All of them really from that far side, and Buda Just had it dialed in right to the top of the 6-yard box. We've seen a couple of headers on target. Nothing really too threatening, but all it takes is one here. We're going to have a conversation between Judd and Johansson, Urugide and Mooney. Group therapy there inside the area with Chris Pinto. He's gotten an eye on Johansson and Judd, who are tangling again. They go short this time. Valiente out to close down against LaRue. Back to Buda. Buda cross blocked by Valiente. Good work there. He was on an island. Throw in taken quickly. Back to LaRue. LaRue slips it in behind, and Kappas that time read the play well. Puts it out for another throw. Again, Valiente defending, forcing them back. Left-footed ball sent in towards the back post, nodded out in front, appeals for a handball. It's still not cleared. Eventually, Norris gets it to the top of the box. Hart shot blocked through traffic, and Judd denied by a sprawling Sirois.
There's a lot going on there, but as a bouncy ball comes in, Judd gets his head on it, sort of facing away from goal. And it looked for a moment like it might drop in behind Sirois, but he was quick to push that one over the bar. And maybe a little something for Vieira to look at back in Arlington.
We'll get another look at it. It was a nice ball scooped over the head of Farrington, headed out in front by Roberts. Ball just sort of bouncing all around. Appeals for a handball, and then the bouncing ball was flicked on by Judd, who just has an incredible ability with one touch to get it on target no matter what the situation is.
Kappas was covering back there in case Sirois didn't get that. He was in a good spot.
Buda again from the far side. Whipped in towards the penalty spot over everybody's head. Kaike up into the air. Urugide gets it further clear, but still mostly up in the air as opposed to further clear. Kikanovic back out to Buda. Kappas covering, and his clearance hits the corner flag, and a nice bounce goes Dallas's way. It's out for a throw instead. Scrambling a little bit right now defensively. And at the top of the box, Harks takes a shot blocked by Norris. Out to Ramiro, who again finds himself the furthest player forward for the moment. A lot of central midfielders out there right now for Dallas. Not really sure how they're meant to be aligned, and having defended so many set pieces, they may not be correctly aligned at the moment anyway. It's Harks, 10 yards into the Dallas half, out to the far side. Nice combination here with Fernandez, the substitute. Puts it out in front of Ricketts. Ricketts cross blocked by Kaike, and it'll be out for a throw.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the structure either, as it's still sort of a 4-4-2, but sometimes, like that time, Kaike found himself as the right-sided midfielder. I think they need to tighten up their structure a little bit.
More changes coming in on the San Jose side. Skahan comes on.
Isn't this about the time that Sam Sarver would come in and get the insurance goal?
I think that is the patented move on the Dallas side of late. I'd like to see it. A big chance they had to make it 3-1. Delgado, you have to say, a fantastic save from Daniel. Underrated that in real time until you see the angle from behind the goal. Here's LaRue, lines up a shot from distance. It's low to the near post, and Sirois puts it behind again for a corner as we get confirmations. Ricketts replaced by Skahan. Paul Marie replaces Ian Harks.
And the shot had Sirois scrambling a little bit. He didn't look completely comfortable pushing that away at the near post.
This time it'll be Buda, but finally from the near side. He's taken almost all of the 10 corners as an outswinger. This one will be whipped in. Bodies packed around Jonathan Sirois in the 6-yard box. In towards the near post, and that one flicked off a Dallas player last. They'll do it again.
You do think Dallas would have to find some way to get a little bit of possession here just to take some pressure off the back line. They've been under it now for about 10 minutes.
Buda again towards the top of the 6-yard box. Ball bouncing and bounces past Sirois and into the back of the net, and that was just a mess of a goal, but it felt like it was coming.
It did. You just can't. Dallas had no ability to get out of their own third, much less their own half there, and corners just keep stacking up, and that one dropped into a bad spot. Looked like San Jose was first to react from in close.
Looks like Reed Roberts may have got the final touch.
Yeah, we still haven't seen a replay yet.
It would be his first goal in Major League Soccer. Buda's service arrives right on top of the 6-yard box, and Farrington had a chance to clear it and made a mess of it. As Mooney also stuck a leg out, and Uragide's clearance hits off of Reed Roberts and goes in.
And you're right, Farrington, I think he's got to commit to clearing that ball. He sort of just stuck his leg out. So
And
now you got to make sure you.
Well, now Kappas with an eye on restoring the lead. Nice slip ball into the path of Farrington, entering the 18 on the right side. Farrington with a nice hesitation before the shot, saved by Daniel. Does the goal wake Dallas back up? Or does San Jose have enough time to capitalize on this momentum and go and find a winner?
I felt like Dallas did respond well in the first half after the 18th minute LaRue goal.
We are going to get 2 more changes on the Dallas side. The next opportunity, Sebastian Ibiaga and Sam Sarver up off the bench. Final 2 rolls of the dice for Mark Briggs on the sideline tonight.
Well, Sarver's been good lately at coming in and providing the insurance goal. Let's see if he can come in and provide the game winner.
Long ball, header won by Johansson. A couple yards into the San Jose half. Valiente unable to keep hold of it. Good work from Benjamin, wins it back in the middle. Dallas in possession across the back line now. Johansson wants to turn and play his goalkeeper, but Judd is lurking. He's now forced towards the corner flag where he sends it long. Out for a throw. Very generous spot on where the throw is going to be taken, but not before the changes enter the game. It's Ibiaga in for Ramiro. And it's Sarver in for Valiente. The armband goes on the left bicep of Shaq Moore, and this may indicate a switch back to the 3 center back lineup with Ibiaga replacing a midfielder.
Well, whatever it is, you just hope that it's got a little bit more structure than what we saw a few minutes ago, because I think that was part of the problem, Dallas not being able to get out of the back because players really weren't even sure where they're supposed to be playing.
Does look like the 5-3-2, 5-4-1 shape that Dallas spent a lot of time in over the past 12 months.
Yeah, Sarver on the right now, Benjamin on the left. Kappas Kaike screening that 5-man back line.
6 minutes remaining of the 90. Reed Roberts' goal, the latest, to make it 2-2. Fired forward towards Judd, bouncing inside the area, picked up by Sirois.
In the back, it's going to be Urguide in the middle. Nolan Norris is the left center back. Ibiaga is the right center back.
Nice combination on the far side. Farrington now in behind for Benjamin. Benjamin tripped up, and an easy call there for Chris Pinso, as Kikanovic is going to pick up a yellow card.
Yeah, Kikanovic defending from the wrong side. Dallas making an appeal that, I guess they're making an appeal that maybe was it denial of goal scoring opportunity, but I think there's plenty of covering defenders there, so I don't think that's a decision that Chris Pinso is going to think very hard about.
It was about as cynical as you could get, though.
It was.
He knew he was caught out, and he did have the covering defender. It was both a kick down low and a shove in the back to make sure he went
got
down.
his money's worth for the yellow card. Pretty good position for a free kick here for Dallas.
And a lot of targets in the game now. You think about Ibiaga, Kappas entering this game, bringing the height up. Farrington a target, Urguide a target.
I also think everybody for Dallas needs to be ready to take their own yellow card if San Jose starts breaking quickly the other way.
Free kick from 30-ish yards out, offset to the far side. It's Kappas with the ball in his hands. San Jose set their line on top of the 18-yard box. Dallas scored in the 85th minute. They thought they won it at PayPal Park last season. They then conceded in the 86th to Joseph Martinez. Is there late drama in the Bay this time around?
Wouldn't be shocking if there's another goal in this game.
It'll be Kappas to serve.
Well, they're still looking at it. Chris Pinso asking him to hold play.
The replays we got, I'd be surprised if this was upgraded to a red card, but
because he's running the left center channel, and we didn't see a big replay. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Well,
so the
let's see.
Recommendation has come in from Kevin Stott, the video assistant referee. Sends Chris Pinso to the monitor to check, you'd think, for a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And they've got a big wide angle to try and show where everybody's positioned.
I see a defender in the middle. I'd be surprised about this.
I've clearly given up trying to predict the decisions that are going to be made. Oh, this one could go Dallas's way. He is breaking towards the top of the box. Could potentially take a shot with his next touch, but it's pretty far out as well.
Yeah, this is where you talk about distance, direction. The distance, you're right. He's breaking towards goal, but the distance, there's a defender about level with him, and the defender's in the center, whereas he's way out on the left. I'd be surprised.
There's also nobody really joining him in the attack either. This feels like a textbook yellow card to me, but we've now
I agree.
Seen the replay about 10 times. He's going to have every chance to come to the correct decision.
I mean, it's certainly cynical, but that's not really one of the criteria for Dogso.
So he makes the box motion with his arms, and the announcement.
I think he's going to. Yeah, I think he's going to stick with the decision. I'm really surprised that one even went to VAR.
Considering the standard for a video review in the first half, I mean, that was just a bizarre decision. Eventually, the yellow card stands, and now Dallas will line up the free kick for Christian Kappas. Whipped in off the left foot towards the back post. Uragide unmarked. Uragide unable to score, denied by Daniel. And now maybe a counter the other way. Dallas had 4 players really unmarked there. Sarver sliding in, trying to stop this attack. Now Shaq Moore goes flying in inside the area. And that went from one end to the other real quick. It's a goal kick. San Jose appealing for more.
You knew it would, though. You knew San Jose would be looking for that, and that's why I said somebody in Dallas, somebody in red has to be ready to take the yellow card. Uragide got into such a good spot there, and
I mean, the whole Dallas team, maybe a few of them were offside, but everybody was basically unmarked. And Osaze did well with it, got it to a low position down to the goalkeeper's left. Credit to Daniel. And Johansson to Benjamin, nearly got a tap in to follow it up. But Daniel Alert grabbed the rebound as well. A fantastic goalkeeping. You have to say he's probably been the best player for San Jose tonight. Benjamin spots a pass out to this near side for Sam Sarver. Sarver tracks it down, corner of the 18. Early cross fired in towards Farrington. Farrington and Kaike. Now Kaike from the top of the 6. Kikanovic clears it away. And it feels a little bit like maybe the red card went against San Jose as the momentum has swung Dallas's favor as we head into 9 minutes added on.
Kaike driving a good ball in from the right side. Logan Farrington doing a good job of using his body position just to keep that ball alive, and then Kaike running in there.
Ebiaga's long throw to the top of the 6, flicked along. Kaike now back to goal, try to get it over towards Benjamin. It's cleared away. and up to Judd, and there's Nolan Norris now to take the yellow card, just as you asked, Steve.
It's smart because Judd was about to turn on him.
Instead, it's a free kick in the San Jose half, and Dallas can get everybody back in position.
Yeah, and that's the other point. You know, even the free kick you give up, it's not in a dangerous spot. Smart from Nolan Norris.
It's another game for Dallas against the top teams in the league. They played LAFC close in a 1-0 loss on the road. They drew Nashville at home, scoreless draw early in the season. They, just a few days ago, went toe-to-toe with the Whitecaps, ending up losing on the night 3-2. And this game feels like it hangs in that very same balance. Will one finally go Dallas's way against the top dogs of the league?
Yeah, and you would love to see Dallas, especially as close as it just came, get the goal.
Ball over the top, looking for Sarver. Sarver going to make a nuisance of himself, force the header from Roberts out for a throw.
But I think the more important thing, Ryan, is that they hold on to this and get a point out of it.
Kaik bending it in towards Farrington, headed away by Roberts. Second ball tracked down by Johansson, but he can't keep hold of it. Now Buda going to try and use his speed to get up the near side. Buda goes down awkwardly, and he's got a free kick. A few yards into the Dallas half. 2 minutes of the 9 been played now.
Yeah, the foul was on Johansson. Johansson trying to win the tackle and just got a little nick on Buda. Seven minutes to protect this 1 point.
You've got your counterattack duo out there between Sarver and Farrington. There's a chance maybe to go and snatch all three. Buda will set up the free kick. Everybody camped on the edge of the Dallas area as it's lifted in towards the top of the box. Uriguide with a header not well cleared, and Judd trying to keep it alive, but Kappas eventually sends it long, and Sam Sarver will give chase up against Buda. Sarver holds off his man. Farrington there as well. Vieira crunching tackle, comes away with the ball, but Kaike now spots Sarver. Sarver all alone in behind. Flag stays down. Sam Sarver has the winner! Oh, he's just gone and done it again!
Well, we asked the question, he's got the insurance goal thing down. Does he have the game winner?
And the shirt stayed on, Steve, but they had the celebration ready, a group celebration between the boys, and now Sam Sarver is shotgunning a beer. That was tossed at him from the San Jose end. This is box office from Sammy Sarver.
Well, the Sam Sarver legend just grew a little bit. Can you get a yellow card for shotgunning a beer? And
if it's thrown at you.
Getting it all over your face, right? Yeah, that should be the caveat.
If Sam Sarver wasn't buzzing before, he's got a buzz now after a hefty sip of the beer, which I will not name the brand of.
Right,
for licensing
it was not an official sponsor. So Sarver and Farrington do a great job of as the ball was cleared out of the back by Dallas of just holding off defenders, keeping the ball alive, and we'll pick out now who it was that was able to come in there, and it's Kaike that spots Sam Sarver, who is onside. Kaike, I think, has had a great game tonight, and certainly a big moment there because as the scramble was happening, San Jose, pressing forward themselves, they just sort of lost their shape, and Kaike sees that Sam Sarver is all alone, puts him right through the middle. Sarver, really nice and composed, walks in on Daniel and puts it right past him for the potential game winner.
What an ace up the sleeve Dallas have in Sam Sarver, who now scores off the bench for the third time in the last 4 games. This one feels like the most consequential by far, as long as they can go on and hold on for these final 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the others are cherry on the cake, right? But that's a huge goal by Sam Sarver.
4 minutes
game winner.
Plus maybe a little bit more to navigate here. Sarver looking for another, chasing Reed Roberts all the way down towards the corner flag on the far side. Roberts eventually hooks it away, but Benjamin quickly onto it. Benjamin splits 2 defenders. Kappas keeps it moving for Kaike. Picked up the assist now on a potential game-winning goal. Johansson out to Farrington on the near side, holding off his defender. Keeping him at arm's length and winning the throw. Last touch off Buda.
Great job by Farrington holding out the defender and then winning the throw in. You said it a minute ago that they had their counterattacking duo specialists in there.
I mean, this is becoming must-watch TV. I hope you stayed up with us late tonight. Kappas on the dribble, right center channel, scooped ahead. He's going to get back onto it himself near the corner flag, and both he and Kaique just going to shield it as long as they can. The flag helping them keep the ball in play. In fact, still a scrap for it, and eventually last touch off the pit bull, and we're into the final 3 minutes.
I mean, Farrington and Sarver, it's almost comically effective toward the end of the match now.
Well, San Jose is the super draft squad, but how about Dallas's answer to that?
They
And
still
a
got
second-round draft pick in Sam Sarver.
Still got a little bit of work to do here.
San Jose into the Dallas half on the far side. Buda now in the middle. Gets it back to Kikanovic. Hits the switch out to Paul Marie on the near side. Johansson gets some distance on the header. Sarver helps it further clear.
Arena and Daniel were upset at something. I'm not sure what they're upset about on the goal.
Now off the far side, it's Scan, left-footed ball, teasing one. Johansson wins the header, still not cleared. Bouncing ball, top of the box. Eventually launched clear by Uragide. And into the San Jose end. Final 2 minutes now. I think it was the contact on Vieira, who was the player that was down, that meant that Sarver had a whole lot of space to run into. But we'll get to all that in just a moment. We've got 2 minutes to navigate here. Wide on the far side, Shackmore defending, and he blocks the cross. It's out for a corner.
12th corner kick for the Earthquakes.
Scan will take. Whipped in off the right foot. Sirois got a piece, not enough though. It's not cleared, but the flag goes up. I think the corner bent out of play before it came back in. And whew.
Dallas got lucky there because that ball ends up in the back of the net. As Sirois came out, didn't look great in getting his hands on that one, though.
We haven't actually seen him come for a cross really tonight. We know that's Michael Coloddi's bread and butter.
I mean, he does there, and it's uncontested. He gets both hands on it. It just goes through his hands.
And he sort of waves a hand like acknowledging he got away with that one. Now he sends the goal kick long. Lost in the shuffle of this second half, of course. Can't forget about the Sirois penalty save right on the stroke of halftime. Keep it a 1-1 game at that point. Benjamin now puts it in behind for Farrington to give chase along this near side, but it just spins out of play. We're into the final minute here. We'll see how much more is added on beyond the 9. Daniel gets it forward to Mooney. Final seconds ticking away on the wristwatch of Chris Pinso. Quakes only one loss at home all season. Norris intercepting a pass on the far side and sends it clear, deflects off a Earthquakes player out for a throw, and now we're into added time on added time.
Well, Norris waited too long to try to clear that one, but it worked out for him because as he got closed down, he ends up getting the deflection and getting the throw in.
Seconds away from confirmation of some history on the Dallas side, a venue in which they haven't won in a decade. They've already broke a curse like that in New York this season. San Jose, one last roll of the dice, launch it forward. Johansson wins the header, up in the air. Kappas further along. Kaique in the middle gets a touch, but it's turned over to the Quakes. We play on into the 100th minute. Fernandez through the lines, and Norris comes across, sends that one to the high heavens. Now it's really borrowed time for the home side. We play on. Ball launched into the box, repelled. Waiting that whistle from Chris Pinso. Benjamin nods it towards Kaique. Holding off his defender, goes down, not enough for a foul. Trips his man from the ground. And he's called for a foul. And one last set piece opportunity's gone the way of the Quakes here.
I got to say, I'm not in agreement with Chris Pinso on that one. I thought Kaique was fouled, and then maybe a little soft call going the other way. But either way, they've got one more ball to defend here.
Buda, ample opportunities tonight to serve the ball into the box. One last chance. Dallas set their line a couple yards into the 18. It's coming from wide on the far side. Start for the one-man wall. Buda into the danger area, allowed to bounce, repelled at the back post. It breaks kindly for LaRue, whose cross is blocked out for a throw. And that will do it. Dallas make history in the Bay tonight. The Sam Sarver legend continues to grow for the first time in a decade. Dallas down the Quakes on the road. They sink one of the best teams in Major League Soccer this season. There's your signature win for the Hoops.
Well, and stop me if you've heard this before. Dallas now, they've won 3 out of 5 road games. I mean, last year we know how good they were on the road, and it has continued in 26. It's a big one tonight, Ryan.
Starting a 9-game road stretch in the win column in the most dramatic of fashions. Sam Sarver, his 3rd goal of the season, his 3rd goal off the bench in the last 4 games. His legend continues to grow. Jonathan Sirois saving a penalty in his FC Dallas debut. So much to talk about tonight. But ultimately, Dallas coming out in the win column, making history, winning in the Bay for the first time since Mauro Diaz, Maxi Arruti, and the best Dallas team we've ever seen did it back in 2016. Thank you for staying up late with us nearly into the early hours of the morning here on the FC Dallas Radio Network, but it was well worth it. Make sure you get your rest tonight. Sam Sarver may not sleep until Tuesday. But you've been listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now. We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
This is Logan Farrington, striker for FC Dallas. Behind every goal, there's a team you don't always see. The ones keeping everything running, secure, connected, ready. That's General Informatics. From cybersecurity to smarter IT solutions, General Informatics powers FC Dallas with advanced technology support so we can stay focused on the game. General Informatics. Complex IT made simple.
After 100 minutes at PayPal Park, FC Dallas does something they haven't done in 10 years, and that's beat San Jose Earthquakes 3-2 off the heroics of Sam Sarver once again. Hello, everybody. It is the FC Dallas postgame show brought to you tonight by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Also brought to you by UMB Bank. See how UMB can help you achieve your business goals. I am your host, Sam Hale. I'll be joined in just a few moments by the voices of tonight's historic victory, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. But let's start first with your postgame highlights. And they start in the very first minute when 55 seconds in, Patrickson did it again.
Oh, here's a giveaway, and it's Santi Moreno now. Slip ball in behind from Musa. Well cut out by Kikanovic. Second effort, and Dallas grabbed the early lead within 60 seconds. It's Patrickson Delgado as the Quakes make a mess of it at the back, and it's the Ecuadorian back in the team to take advantage.
Patrickson's second goal of the year made it 1-0 Dallas within the first minute of play, and then it would hold that way until the 18th minute when Bo LaRue would scorch one past Jonathan Sirois. That made it 1-1 in the 18th minute, and that was the score at halftime. But then just under 5 minutes from the break, it was Petter Musa doing it again.
Ace of the Dallas midfield fired forward to the feet of Musa. Musa did just enough to get it back to Ramiro, who then pokes it wide for Johansson. Johansson Whips the right foot through it towards Musa. Great first touch. Sets himself up. Petter Musa restores the lead.
That made it 2-1 Dallas with Musa's 12th goal in the 49th minute. The reason it was able to be 2-1 because 6 minutes earlier in the first half, Jonathan Sirois announced his presence with authority.
It's LaRue against the Canadian in goal for Dallas. Sirois looking for his first moment for his new club. LaRue shuffles over to his left now on the approach, and it's saved by Sirois. And he picks up the rebound, and order is restored. Ball does not lie. Jonathan Sirois, welcome to Dallas. What a moment.
A big moment there for Jonathan Sirois as he saves the penalty that was allowed Dallas to take the lead in the 49th minute. But it wasn't all roses, as in the 81st minute, Reed Roberts knocks one past Sirois on a corner kick that got all wrong for Dallas. That made it 2-2 with what we thought about 10 minutes to play. But then about 10 minutes later, that man did it again.
Everybody camped on the edge of the Dallas area as it's lifted in towards the top of the box. Urguide with a header not well cleared, and Judd trying to keep it alive. But Kappas eventually sends it long, and Sam Sarver will give chase up against Buda. Sarver holds off his man. Farrington there as well. Vieira crunching tackle, comes away with the ball, but Kaique now spots Sarver. Sarver all alone in behind. Flag stays down. Sam Sarver has the winner! Oh, he's just gone and done it again!
Third goal in 4 games for Sam Sarver. Third off the bench, as well as Sarver ended up celebrating with his teammates what ended up being the game winner in dramatic fashion. The man, all he does is score bangers. Let's go ahead and get you your post-game stats. Tonight, they're brought to you by UMB Bank. The Quakes end up with a possession lead 56-44. 17 total shots for the Quakes, 8 of those on net. 16 total shots for Dallas, but 10 of those were on target this evening. You had 7 saves for Daniels, 6 saves for Jonathan Sirois. You had 12 corners for the Quakes, just 4 for FC Dallas, including the one that Reed Roberts scored in the 81st minute. 9 fouls for the Quakes, 3 of those resulting yellow cards. 17 fouls for Dallas this evening, and yet only 3 cards handed out, all of the yellow variety. Now let's bring in our commentary team for this one. It's Ryan Figert. It's Steve Davis. And lads, I had a whole pregame show format written, and I guess Sam Sarver just likes to rewrite my postgame format because he just keeps doing it. Like you even alluded to it during the broadcast. Oh, in this about the time that Sam Sarver comes in, and darned if he didn't do it.
Yeah, he burned the boats. He burned your running order. He burned the Quakes tonight, and his speed in behind, his threat coming off the bench. I think maybe a little fortuitous as there's a player down, but it doesn't matter. He's in the place, in the moment. He makes the impact. Just what a storyline this is. I mean, a guy that was drafted in the second round, outside of literally the San Jose Earthquakes, how many guys that were drafted in the second round are even playing in Major League Soccer the next season after they were drafted? It's not a high hit rate. But Sarver makes a name for himself in MLS Next Pro, and now he's just tearing things up at the top level with the top club. And he's just an entertainer, right? I mean, not only does he get his first winning goal of his career tonight, he immediately has the celebration plan. He calls everybody over. They sit on the ad boards, and they do it like some sort of dunk down behind where they all fall backwards. Then what happens? A fan throws a beer at him. He shotguns the beer. Of course he does. This is a guy who absolutely gets it. He's an entertainer. He loves it. And this was just a pure moment, I think, for FC Dallas fans to enjoy, and Sarver just keeps supplying those.
What do you think he did with the beer? Because I don't think it was really a shotgun. He more or less just poured it all over his face.
I'm going to go back and review the footage.
Okay, fair.
It felt very Steve Austin, if I may say so myself.
Do you feel like he was about to take a drink and then decided, I might get in trouble for that, so he just basically poured it all over?
I don't think there were that many thoughts going on in that moment. I think it was just pure elation after getting that winning goal, and as much as he had the first celebration plan, that one was off the cuff. That's pure box office stuff.
So I just put on Twitter, and I was wrong. I just got I forgot that sort of forgot about the midweek game. That
we can all forget about the midweek game now.
The what? I don't even know what you're talking about.
He scored off the bench in 3 consecutive matches, and that's incorrect. But he scores off the bench in 3 of the last 4 matches.
3 straight wins,
and
I guess.
3 straight wins. 3 straight wins. Okay, thank you for trying to come to my rescue there. But I'm telling you, how many times has that even been done in FC Dallas history? Because that's quite something to come off the bench that often to score goals, and this one absolutely was the biggest one because the other two were insurance goals, and they've all been good finishes, though. I mean, on this one, Kayeke, does a really good job of recognizing he's in a good spot, puts him in with a really nicely weighted pass. Sarver, I just noticed he has a minute to just kind of glance over, make sure he's onside, and he's just nice and composed. Daniel's a good goalkeeper. He's had 2 big saves tonight. The biggest one, I think, on Patrickson Delgado on that little setup from Logan Farrington. So, it's not just that he's in the right places, but he's really composed in these finishes.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting because I think some national people may just say, "Oh, he's fast and he scores." No, these are legitimate clinician type goals in the sense. They're real good goals.
I think there are some parts of his game that aren't as well rounded. Obviously, that's why he's gone on the development pathway that he's gone on, and but things that are absolutely undeniable about his game is his speed and his finishing ability.
Yep.
I mean, he was the top scorer in Next Pro for a reason. And you go back and look at his goal catalog outside of some well-taken penalties. There's a lot of shots just like this where he sets himself up and he takes a shot like he's taken it 100 times, fires it into the bottom corner. He's got a really good finish on him. And it was just about getting his overall game to the point where the coaches trusted him to get in the game, and now he's proving that he can provide that finishing touch. And holding your nerve in that crucial moment when the game is on the line. I mean, that is the mark of a true winner and somebody who's going to have a long career at this level, going on and doing things like that.
And I think, Steve, if you even look at it kind of in almost a macro sense, now that he's done this 3 times, and he even in the Vancouver game, he had a couple of opportunities that just never really came to fruition. Teams have to account for this. Like, this is no longer just a happy accident. This is a legitimate threat that Dallas can bring off the bench because he just keeps doing it. And in theory, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either he's going to keep doing it, which would be ridiculous, but I ain't betting against it in this moment, or teams are going to have to account for him and other people will benefit.
Yeah, usually when you talk about accounting for somebody, you're talking about tactically game planning for it. But in this case, this is a tactics-free zone that our friend Matt Doyle has coined that term. And I don't know if there's accounting for people in that moment because San Jose is pressing forward and trying to get the game winner themselves. I think it's just sort of a weapon that you deploy that they know about and really just aren't going to be able to do anything about. He's either going to go beat you on one of these or he's not, I think.
Yeah, he might be the patron saint of the tactics-free zone. If our friend Matt Doyle is listening, I might make that suggestion because he just seems to thrive in that moment. And as we talk about it, there's a lot to come out of this, but I want to focus on the game as a whole before we dig down into the individuals again. And Ryan, the big thing is we've said it multiple times. It's the first time Dallas has done this in a decade. It was July 18th, 2016, the last time Dallas won at what we now call PayPal Park. And obviously there are some dragons still to be slain. I'm looking at LAFC. I'm looking at Seattle. But these are the kind of wins that can really propel a team. And I remember Eric Quill saying recently, we learned about ourselves on the road. We're excited for the road trip. Well, he's got to be really excited, even though he wasn't on the touchline for this one, because they've got 3 points, one of 9 success.
I would love to see if there had been a camera on wherever in the stadium or wherever Eric Cole's watching this game from, his reaction.
Can we get
goal.
that?
I mean, we need to find the security footage or something, because I'm sure it was celebration akin to what Sam himself was doing. No, he doesn't know there's a camera on him. He might be shotgunning a beer too. You never know.
I wouldn't blame him.
But absolutely. I'm just completely forgotten your question. Oh yes, slaying the Dragons. 2 times now you've gone somewhere where you hadn't won since 2016. Sarver on the score sheet in both games, ironically enough. But these are wins that give teams belief. I think even the performance at Seattle and performance at LAFC gives you belief. Those are your 2 road losses. You've played 5 games. You've got 3 wins on the road, and your 2 road losses are the 2 places that you just do not win. The 2 probably hardest away venues in the entire league in Seattle and LAFC. So, 8 road games to come after tonight. Bring them on. I mean, this team knows how to go on the road and get results, and the style of play lends itself to being successful away from home. I think there's reason to be excited for fans. Maybe just pick one of those games, send the family out. Let's go on the
Take a
trip
vacation,
and go
yeah.
enjoy watching your team in person. As long as they're not here in Frisco, they're going and getting results on the road.
It is interesting that we look at this this window of 9 consecutive road matches, and we sort of look at it and don't play again until September, and it seems daunting, right? We keep saying, we got to get these home wins because they're going to be gone for so long because of construction of the stadium. But the facts don't really support that, do they?
Nope.
Because now, Dallas sits here. Dallas now under Quill in 2 years on the road, 8 wins, 6 losses, 8 draws. That's a really good road record. This year, you just said it, Ryan, 3-2 on the road, plus 5 goal difference. So look at it like this. In 9 home games, Dallas has 3 wins. In 5 road games, Dallas has
3 wins.
Right. So maybe we were wrong all along. Maybe Dallas was just sort of trying to hold serve until they could get on the road and go get the points.
Let's go rain on some parades.
Yeah.
Burn some boats.
Yeah, I'm definitely here for it. And the wild thing about Sarver's goal, besides all
Everything
of it,
about it.
everything his pure existence, which is just energy. He's just a giant ball of energy. Is it deflects from the fact that Petter Musa gets number 12 tonight. And that by itself, Steve, was a pretty impressive goal. Like, he skill checks himself, and he just kind of chips it by. It was not a traditional Petter Musa goal, but darn, it sure was cool.
Well, all night long, I feel like Dallas was really good at being aggressive, getting into the final third, and then once they're in the final third, in the first half especially, we saw what we don't see out of this team a lot, which is a lot of really good combination work right at the top of the penalty area. It was Marino, Delgado, Valiente, Musa, all getting in there, and even Herman Johansson, I thought, did a good job from his right back spot of getting up the right side. So I think they were aggressive all night, and at that moment, it was Ramiro who swept up a loose ball in the middle and pushed the ball again aggressively, quickly into Herman Johansson. Johansson, you could see exactly what he wanted. He took one touch, he got his head right up, and as soon as he gets his head up, Musa sees that, understands the moment, breaks toward the near post, has a good first touch. The ball kind of pops up on him a little bit, but it was almost fortuitous that it does that because now he can hit a volley from in close, and it was a good assist from Herman Johansson and a good, well-taken goal from Petter Musa.
You said it wasn't a traditional Petter Musa goal, but I think it kind of was. He's done this thing before where he beats the defender to the ball, takes a positive first touch, and, takes himself to a part of the box where he actually doesn't have the best angle, but he's still so clinical. Sometimes we've seen him.
He's got time.
Right. He's roofed it, but it's all about the first touch that takes him into space. And now he can look up, see where the keeper's at, and take that shot. Today, it gets underneath Daniel. But as much as it was a little bit made more awkward by the touch popping up higher, this is actually kind of a trademark Musa finish. We've seen him do this quite a bit where he takes that positive first touch, sets himself up so well, and bags another goal. And 12 on the season, still just behind Hugo Kuipers in the Golden Boot race, but I think he's going to be in this race for the long haul. Yeah, we're going to be monitoring this, I think, until the final match day, unless, of course, that he went ahead and sews it up. And we're seeing the standings right now, and we're all excited. 5th place FC Dallas. That's obviously it's way too early to look at standings, but since they're literally forcing us to look at them, I think it's worth noting that, hey, that's pretty cool, man. Like, to see Dallas up that high again, I believe that'd be their, assuming that holds to be their highest finish since 22. So. Also, looking at the bottom 5, you have 7 games to play against those, or bottom 4, 7 games still to play in your schedule against those teams.
So you say it's a little early to look at the standings, and I'm the one that always says I don't even look at them until June. This is a little different year because after this next weekend, when they go on about a 6-week break, World Cup break, we're going to have a lot of time to sit around and look at whatever standings are in front of us. So maybe this is one year where it's unavoidable that you would be able to take a little peek at the standings before June.
Hey, exceptions make rules, right? Yep. In that case, and obviously the Musa goal in itself was cool. And even in that, Brian, distracted from the fact that Dallas scored what was probably the second fastest goal in club history. Patrickson in the 55 seconds in. And for those that weren't with us at halftime, the earliest goal is 29 seconds by Fabian Castillo back in 2015. That was at home against Toronto FC.
Fitting for a player with his speed that he would have the fastest goal record.
It really is, and he had a brace in that game too. And by the way, if you go find that goal, because it is on YouTube through a couple different channels, it's all speed from Castillo. That they basically pass the ball from right to left. He just burns his way into the box and scores. It's a pretty trademark Fabian Castillo goal in a year that he led Dallas in scoring. Just don't look at the number of goals he scored. It was not the
it wasn't the best year.
Not the best individual
wait
year.
Wait till the next season.
But Patrickson, obviously he gets the start tonight in place of Ron Benjamin, who's played a lot. And we had said, hey, this is a good opportunity for him to get some run and to do something. Scoring a goal within a minute is definitely the definition of doing something in my book.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of his numbers, he was actually given man of the match by FOTMOB. He had the most touches inside the area of anybody in the game. Took the joint most shots with 4. He was also, really consistent in winning duels, 5 of 8 on the ground, 3 of 3 in the air. Sort of an all-around Patrickson game, and the way that he plays is such a unique skill set, and not just within the Dallas team, but I think in the game in general, because he doesn't play like a traditional number 10. He doesn't play like a traditional number 8. He's just kind of all over the field, and when he's fully dialed in, like I think he was tonight, he's winning the ball back. He's sort of picking guys' pockets from behind. He's physical. He can win those duels up in the air or on the ground. And then he can add, the final product. He's got a couple goals on the season. Nearly had another one tonight. I think he's robbed by a really, really good save from Daniel. Otherwise, he makes it 3-2 before he comes off. So I didn't have, to be honest, I didn't have very high expectations for Patrickson tonight. I felt like maybe he was just in there to fill a role with Benjamin having run so many miles over the past few games. But now he's put his card in the hat to potentially continue and grab that starting spot, because that was probably the best all-around game I've seen from him, at least this season, if not all-time in a Dallas shirt.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would think that what you say about him now, and I think we've seen enough, I can say this pretty confidently, I think in the technical areas of the game, he checks a lot of boxes. He can strike a good ball. He hits a good dead ball. He's maybe in some of the team concepts on defense, he's not the best, but in terms of winning duels, as you just said, he's good at that. I think in all the technical areas, he's a good player. I think in the team concepts with the ball and without the ball is where he struggles a little bit. So you ask yourself, well, what does he do? Does he break lines with his passes? Well, no, not really. Does he beat defenders one-on-one? Well, no, not really. Does he combine well with teammates? He did a little better at that tonight. Does he hit a good switching ball? Well, maybe not that, but he executes skills pretty well. It just doesn't all come together in a team concept. I think tonight, though, in a game that was sort of wide open and both teams nobody wanted to possess the ball in the back. They just wanted to get forward, and that creates a little bit of chaos, and it's a game that kind of goes back and forth. And he's sweeping up a lot of loose balls, and he's winning the duels, and I think it worked tonight. And by the way, Ryan, remember that Eric Quill made a tactical decision tonight that we kind of surprised us. We thought Delgado would be the left-sided midfielder in the 4-4-2. He wasn't. He was the free role. Santi Marino was the left-sided midfielder, and they did have to make a change at halftime in a certain way, but it seemed to work, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we kind of, when we saw the lineup came out, we're a little bit perplexed by Patrickson being the one to come in. We maybe figured Benjamin wasn't going to be able to start again after the amount of work he's put in recently, but I think from now on, the way that I'm going to think about Patrickson and kind of taking from what you just said is he has all of the tools, and I think Eric and the staff are going to give him every opportunity to figure it out, because they know he has a high ceiling if he can put his entire game together and play within the team concept, both with and without the ball. They see so much potential in him, and nights like tonight show some of that potential, show what the growth could look like for Patrickson and why they have so much faith in him. But yeah, interesting to see him play truly as a number 10 underneath the striker when both Valiente and Moreno, either side of him, have played in that spot so far this season. But it made for a really interesting attacking game, particularly in the first half, with both of those outside guys cutting inside, quick combinations between the three of them, more 1-2s, I think, than we've seen at all at any point this season, and that involved both Ramiro and Kaique and Musa as well, just moving the ball well on the pass. And it was a different look because Dallas has played so direct this year. They played with 2 strikers. They haven't had those creative ball-to-feet combination guys in there all together. But tonight it gave them a different look, and I think it caught San Jose off guard, particularly in those first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think the best way to sum up Patrickson right this minute is in a very specific type of game or game state, he's about as ideal as it gets. And now it's just about growing him to where he can fit more. But when you reach those game states, which Dallas really saw tonight, he excels and he does a really good job. It's now about making him a little bit more versatile in those other places.
Yeah, Steve just crossed off an FC Dallas bingo, which Sam made for us. Can you read off your bingo, please? What were our 5
Are we
points?
supposed to? I'm not really sure.
Well, now I've said it. So mine was, let's see. Ref misses a foul. Ryan complains about referees. Sam Sarver does the cool thing. And Ref and Osaze talk on a set piece.
Yep.
So that was my bingo.
Yep.
And those felt like the bankers, including Sam Sarver doing the cool thing, and especially Ryan complaining about the referees.
Yeah, then that case, I also have a bingo because Ref and Osaze talk set piece. Ryan complains about Ref. I mispronounce a name, which happened 3 times. So if you want to put that on your bingo board, Herman Johansson wins a header. And I'm not going to say this last one because I don't want to.
Keep that one close to the chest.
That's for the
bingo.
I saw a couple of them on there that maybe just have to be inside jokes here. So
if you want to donate a bunch of money to a charity and come watch our broadcast, maybe we'll let you in on that. But like until then, some stuff we got to keep for us. It's just to amuse ourselves. But another big storyline coming into this one, and then Ryan, I'll start here with you because I want to get everyone's reaction on this. Was the change at goalkeeper. Jonathan Serwa comes in. Michael Collodi goes to the bench. Serwa. I got to get detrained myself here for a minute. 6 saves, including the PK save. He has another big one, and I want to get it right because it was a very good save. It was in as my notes fail me here because I wrote it down.
Off the snap header, sort of flicked on header from.
Yes, I believe that was the 78th minute. Yeah, so he had 2 big saves that could have easily been another goal for the Quakes that could have kept this a tie or maybe even a loss. And I think this is probably going to be a larger conversation for the agenda when we reconvene sometime maybe this week. But I don't know if Dallas has any more answers based on this game. But at the very least, I think Serwa did enough to force the questions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. It felt kind of like a Jacob Jackson game in a way.
A little.
But I think Jackson maybe impressed a little bit more when he was being, shelled when he was in the team last year. The penalty save, of course, is, the stuff of dreams for him on his club debut, and definitely don't want to take away from that moment. He's getting the plaudits right now, doing interviews after the game. There were still some shaky moments. I think, the one where he gets a little bit lucky at the very end, the cross had gone out of play before he basically dropped it inside the 6-yard box. And the first goal, I think there can be some questions, but I think those can all be also contextualized with this is his first start in over a year, and it's his first start behind this back line. And a couple of those issues came specifically with communication between him and the center back. So those are things to improve. But I think he showed he can also step up in the big moment with the penalty, but also some quick reaction saves. So, yeah, I don't think he absolutely, wrote his name down in pen going forward, but I'm not going to be surprised if Eric Quill does what Eric Quill does and he rides the hot hand into Colorado and we see Serwa on the team sheet again.
Yeah, probably. Tonight I would definitely call it a mixed bag.
Yes.
I think, to be honest, the save on the Preston Judd sort of back header was pretty good. Nothing outstanding maybe, and I think Chris Kappas was right behind Serwa in case he didn't make that save. The penalty kick save, that was good. That's a big moment, but you're right, Ryan. The missing that one cross, it's uncontested and it just goes through his hands. And Dallas got really lucky that ball had gone out because after he misses it, it ends up in the back of the net. A couple of the communication issues, including maybe on that first goal. So definitely for me a mixed bag.
And I think it was interesting because tonight maybe if you're not coming off the Vancouver game and Collodi's in there, when you're being absolutely shelled with crosses, I think Collodi's the guy that you want. So maybe, you don't usually see coaches look at matchups specifically when it comes to goalkeepers, but maybe if he feels like they are very evenly matched, you just look at it week to week and say, specifically with crosses, I think, is this team very cross heavy? I want to see Collodi in there because that's his biggest strength is coming through the box and punching crosses away. Maybe if it's more, shot heavy and you want Serwa in there as your shot stopper, you can compare them with their feet. Maybe it's just horses for courses. It's untraditional, but if he feels like they're evenly matched, maybe that's a route you could go.
Hey, Sam, speaking of crosses, I think it deserves mention that we saw that Nolan Norris was struggling a little bit with Ossini Buda on the right side. Buda's good at carving out space to get those crosses in. San Jose is good at it, second most crosses per game in Major League Soccer. And as I said in the pregame, effective crosses too. Well, at halftime, what does the FC Dallas coaching staff do? And I assume that Eric Quill is somewhere in there in this decision-making
pulling puppet strings,
process.
if you will.
Yep.
He's just controlling it through his aura.
It's the hat.
It's the hat. The hat is just sitting in the locker room.
It's got an antenna.
And it's got some sorting hat vibe.
So the hat moves. It moves Shaq out to the left side. Shaq Moore is good as a one-on-one defender, and I think that did limit Buda a little bit. Moved Nolan Norris to the inside, moved Osaze Urigidi over, so now Osaze is at right center back. Nolan Norris is the left center back, and it's Shaq out there dealing with Buda, and I think it was pretty effective. So I thought that was a really good tactical adjustment on the coaching staff.
I would strongly agree with that. Man, Shaq Moore really is making the case for best all-around defender on FC Dallas, which, considering that Osaze Urigidi is right there, is a pretty strong two-horse race. I also want to shout out Herman Johansson, who kind of made that possible. I think you can, I think we're still trying to figure out the exact fit and finish for Johansson. I think he's a quality player. I think he's going to be a very good quality player going forward. But tonight, I think, was probably his best overall game in FC Dallas colors, Ryan.
Yeah, he did it at both ends. And it's so interesting to watch him because he is so untraditional and being so tall out in the wide areas as a right back. And, up against the pace of Ricketts tonight, Ricketts has him over the first 3 steps. And then Johansson makes up the ground, and every single time tonight he got back in position with relative ease over 10 to 15 yards. And so he just has a different athletic profile where, a lot of wingers are bursty and they're quick and they can find a way past you. But if there's enough time and space, Johansson's going to get back in the way. And once he gets in control of the situation, he knows how to work the angles. He knows how to use his body, force you away from goal, force you to pass backwards. And so doing that defensively while also getting an assist and providing some thrust up the right side in the attack, I mean, this was the player that I think we were excited to see. This felt like the game where he could really announce himself. And also, congratulations to him because he's going to be involved in some capacity with Sweden at the World Cup. He's been officially named as their first alternate 27th man, but there's some pending injuries in that Sweden squad. I won't be surprised if he's with the 26 by the time the first game rolls around. So we'll see him plenty at Toyota Stadium this summer when they're training there. But I think really good moment for him to grab this signature performance and build confidence heading into a potentially big summer in his career.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this was his best match in a lot of different ways. One way you didn't even mention, I feel like the fouling, he sort of figured out MLS refereeing a little bit more. And I think he may have been called for 1 foul tonight, and I'm not sure, how much was really in that one. So I thought he did a really good job. I sort of forgot for a while that as I saw him moving up the right side, so often, and especially in the first half, it just sort of dawned on me as like, wait a minute, he's not playing wing back tonight. He's actually playing as right back, but he's really getting forward at the right times. Wasn't really getting exposed on the other side, and some of that is FC Dallas providing the right kind of cover and sliding over as he moves forward. But his best match in an FCD shirt, I think, in a lot of different ways.
And if he's at that level, playing as a right back and still providing the width, I think that gives them so much tactical flexibility on the rest of the field.
Agreed.
Because previously he was only able to do, as he's been getting adjusted to the team in the league, he's only been able to really give you one way, whether he's had a good attacking game or a good defensive game. But if he can give you the two-way game and you can play with the back four and he can still provide that, that thrust up the right side, then you can get bodies into other areas, add a midfielder, add a winger. I think it just gives, the coaching staff so much more flexibility when he's playing at the top of his game.
Also worth mentioning that he was given the assignment of marking Preston Judd on the set pieces, and Preston Judd is their big scorer. So obviously Dallas coaching staff and Drew Keyshawn, who does the defensive set pieces, showing a lot of trust there in Herman Johansson.
Another night with the number 9 bottled up by this Dallas back line. I mean, Judd was active. He certainly had a few chances, but nothing really of note. And for some reason, he didn't take the penalty, so he doesn't end up on the score sheet tonight.
Yeah, that's still very bizarre that he didn't take the penalty. But, hey, their loss is Dallas's gain. And I also want to shout out another player who ended up going the distance tonight, and this is almost a cumulative award. Kaique plays 90 minutes against Real Salt Lake, has a goal in that game, plays 80 minutes midweek against Vancouver, one of the best teams in MLS, if not the best team in MLS.
Probably the best midfield in MLS.
I think that's pretty definitive at this point. And then decides to follow that up with 90 minutes again tonight away from home in San Jose. So that's 260 minutes, give or take, not factoring in stoppage time.
So we played 100 minutes tonight, so he got to the 270
Yeah, so 270 at minimum there. I mean, and obviously all of that, by the way, he signs a new contract in the middle of the week. So what a roller coaster 8 days it's been for the Pitbull, Steve. And I'm not saying he had his best overall game tonight, but I think if you look at, the context of that, playing 80 minutes Wednesday, 90 minutes the previous Saturday, he is turning into at the very least, a reliable effort and energy guy for a full 90 minutes.
Well, he was always a reliable effort and energy guy. It's just that he's added some maturity to it. And I agree that, look, RSL, I thought he was really good 8 days ago. But what we said on midweek was that this is what you get from young players, from a 20-year-old player, because I don't think he was as good midweek. I didn't think it was a good match from him. And we said, as a 20-year-old, though, you sort of take it. If you get two good and one bad, okay, well, that's all right. And he bounced back tonight, and you said maybe not his overall best match, but I don't know, man, pretty darn close, because maybe he has had a couple that were a little bit better than tonight, but I thought he was really good in all areas tonight. He was sharp in the technical work. He brought the usual amount of energy. He won the duels. He won the loose balls. He recovered the ball, and then in the end, he plays a really good early aggressive ball into Sam Sarver for the game winner.
Yeah, I still think RSL is probably his best game, Ryan, but this is definitely on the medal stand.
Yeah, and I think it's worth not just us, but fans and everybody that follows this team having a little bit of perspective with him, a 20-year-old in his second season and just his first ever move away from home. But some of this team in general has only really come together over the last 12 months, and even you look at the best teams all around the league. It takes 2, 3, 4 seasons for guys to blossom and get to their best level, and for the team concept to mesh. And so some of this is happening ahead of schedule for guys like Kayik, and now I think Patrickson's an example. He's in his third season with the team. Now we should start seeing the best of him, and we saw it tonight. So even some of the new pieces, Johansson, Valiente, Moreno, I feel like some of their good moments are coming a little bit ahead of schedule, because there should be maybe Moreno, no adjustment to the league. He's been here before, but with those other guys adjusting to the league, adjusting to the team. And like I said, the best teams in this league stick together for 2, 3, 4 seasons, and you see that peak over time. And so it's exciting to see the growth. Particularly, I think Kayik is a great example of the growth. He's come on leaps and bounds this year. We saw the potential. We saw the tools, the athleticism, and the ground coverage and the engine that he has. And now he's adding so much quality to that he's, I think he's been a top 5 Dallas player this season.
I don't think that's unfair at all. Before we take a brief peek at what happens next Saturday for the last time in about 6 weeks, do we have any final thoughts on FC Dallas 3, San Jose 2?
Someone said Stone Cold Sam Sarver. I like that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Twitter has been popping off, as you would expect. The final word from Garrett, getting the quote from Sam. My coach at Indiana, Todd Yeagley, told me about a player from way before I got there that used to do the scuba celebration. So officially now it was scuba diving. He yelled at him because he didn't want him to get hurt. So I thought it'd be funny if we did that. That's the most Sam thing
I
I've
love
ever
him,
heard.
man.
And there was a lot of Hoosier, on the other side tonight for San Jose as well, including Daniel Mooney. So I saw a little handshake between them at the end. I'm sure they had a laugh about that. But man, it's box office. It's Sam Sarver. It's you got to tune in. And next weekend, he'll probably go and do the same thing. If not, somehow find a way to one-up it.
Sam, the only other thing I think I would add is that after Vancouver the other day, the disappointing loss at home, I did say that I thought everybody needed to just find the next level. Just add 5 to 10%. That I feel like if they had it against Vancouver, they could have at least got the draw on that one. And I feel like just up and down the lineup tonight, not only the starting 11, but everybody, they had 5 guys off the bench, and I feel like everybody found just a little bit extra tonight, and that's why they don't just get the draw, they get another road win. I thought they did a really good job of finding just a little bit more tonight.
Well, it's going to be a fun plane ride home from San Jose. They don't have to go far. The airport's literally right next to the stadium,
That's
so
right.
I guess they could maybe walk to their plane from the locker room if they wanted to.
Just go board the plane right. It's sitting on the runway.
It's right there for them. It's pretty easy. So they will head back home for a little while before we do match 2 of this 9-match road trip. And I do want to say, to give some uplifting news in the Copa Tejas rivalry, even though that was not on the line tonight. Austin loses 2-1 to Sporting Kansas City tonight. And what might be any loss to Kansas City this year is going to be a bad one. But, man, that is not one that Austin needed, despite the fact they went up early. Also, in strange results, Vancouver stayed in Texas, went to Houston, and lost 1-0. Now, part of that is because Yohei Takaoka gets sent off with a red card. And then Guilherme in the 90th plus 6th minute gets a goal to steal the win. But Ben Olsen's squad goes to LA 4-1, now beats LA.
They can only beat the best teams in the league and nobody else.
Yes,
That's
which
a weird
I guess
conundrum.
thanks. Like
Yeah.
we'll take the help, but it was a very strange occurrence down there in the Bayou City. But
this is really this 3-game week. There's been some strange results, and that's continued. And one more before the break. Definitely don't miss out. I think anything can happen. Dallas going to a team that has played a really interesting, unique style, and to be honest, I think it feeds right into Dallas' strengths. I think they can go and press and create turnovers, and it's got a recipe to be potentially another high-scoring affair on the road.
Ryan is talking about the Colorado Rapids, coached by Matt Wells, the former Tottenham assistant, who has got them playing some sort of soccer. It's sometimes effective, and sometimes it gets a red card, rarely is both. But they lose 2-1 tonight to Real Salt Lake as they get a couple goals and win and take the leading pole position in the Rocky Mountain Cup. But it'll be an 8:30 kick from Commerce City next week, so we will go ahead and have FC Dallas pregame show starting at 8, and then Ryan and Steve will have kickoff at 8:30 here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. But for Ryan Figert, for Steve Davis, I have been Sam Hale. You've been listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
The preceding broadcast has been a presentation of the FC Dallas Radio Network.
You push your body hard in the name of fitness. Sure, it's for a good cause. But a good cause shouldn't mean sacrificing a good time. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received